Walk into the forum through the arch made of marble rock. Grand Uncle Caesar joined up with Cleopatra. If he hadn't died on the Ides, he'd see me and he'd say, "Man, that's how I beat Pompey." Armies are obeying me, goods are moving really free, government's efficient.
And I believe we are live. Hopefully you can all hear me there out in internet world. Salvete omnes, salvete amici. Welcome to the stream this evening. Very excited to play the Republic of Rome board game produced by Valley Games in 2009, which was based off an original version by Avalon Hill, produced in 1990, where players will control a faction of senators and bid to become the most influential and most popular in the Roman Republic, whilst trying to keep all of Rome's enemies at bay. I have 5 players waiting in the virtual tabletop on the Roll20 application, which we'll go across to very shortly. I see Darkness King is joining us from Turkey. Hello there, Darkness. Pleased to see you again joining the stream. Thanks for coming along. And for those who are watching this in the future, outside of the live time frame, hello to all of you as well. Or salve, yes, marhaba. Very good. Okay, so without further delay, we're now going to transition. I'll get some camera and audio set up, and we'll get this game started. We'll introduce you to all of our senators. So stand by.
Hello.
Okay, hello. Can hopefully everybody out there in internet world give me a thumbs up, an emoji, a salve, assuming you can hear me, and you can see us on screen. Should be able to see the virtual tabletop environment as well as the 5 players and myself who will be playing the game this evening. What we're going to do is have a quick introduction. I'd like everybody to introduce themselves by their Roman name and introduce your faction name, and we'll go through, starting with Posthumus. Posthumus, please introduce yourself.
So you can call me Posthumus Avon, which in English I believe means anonymous bird. So works out all right, I guess. And I'll be playing the Hand of God faction tonight. So yeah, excited to get going.
Very good. Over to you, Indominus.
Marcus Indominus Antonius. Just random names put together. I'm with the faction of Priscus Tarquinius Pro Praetore. We're trying to re-establish the rule of the rightful king of Rome.
Brilliant. Okay, over to you, Cornelius. That's you, Chris. Cornelius. You want to introduce your?
I thought that was my middle name.
Yes, correct. That is one way of addressing you, Cornelius Dolabella.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm in lead the military faction
Perfect.
known as the Reapers Party,
Excellent. Very good.
and we want to secure Rome by having a strong military and conquering the barbarians around us.
Splendid. Fantastic. Okay, over to you, Sempronius.
Yes, Gaius Sempronius Aquila, and I'm the leader of the Civibus da Panem et Circens, which is bread and circus for the people.
Excellent. And whose last name I can't see, although it'll be down the bottom here for you, but our other Cornelius, please introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Lurco Cornelius Kylum, and I'm the leader of the Optimates, and so we believe in the good men owning all the wealth and controlling Rome for the good of all people, but especially the good men.
Great introductions, folks. Well done, well done. Okay, so for those that are watching along at home, our senators, our faction leaders, are just going through the process of updating all their faction votes, which is based on all of the oratory skill of each of their senators. And what I'm going to do is zoom in to show you what that looks like. I'll adjust the screen so we can see some of the senators here from Sempronius' faction. So you can see he has senators with oratory rating 3, 3, and 2, which is a total of 3, which is 6, 7, 8, and therefore you can see over in his faction votes box he's got 8 representing his total votes currently leading into the first Senate phase, and then he's calculated a total faction influence of 11, which is the centre numbers here, 5, 3, and 3, so hopefully all that addition is correct. And everybody else is doing it now. Is anybody that hasn't done that yet for their senators?
Excuse me, I've
Yes.
added it up, but I don't know how to change my current faction votes or influence.
So you'll just need to drag some new tokens across, and I can help you out there if you like. So what's your faction votes
That
tally?
would probably be a heck of a lot quicker.
Certainly. So what's your faction votes? What number can I get you for your
The
faction?
votes, well, I've actually lost a couple there. I'm down to 5.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That can build. I've thrown a 5 marker in for you. I'll take your 7 away. And what can I get you for your faction influence?
Well, there I actually picked up. I've got 12.
12. Well done. Okay, I'm just going to drag some new numbers in for you. And I'll drag the 7 back. So, yep, for those watching, we've tried to replicate the physical game as much as possible. There you go. They're in your playing area now. There, Cornelius Dolabella. Feel free to drag you. I'll drag the other 7 away while we're at it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to issue your initial faction cards to everybody. I have pre-sorted these from the deck, ready to go. Decks 1 to 5. We're going to work our way backwards, starting with. And I'm just going to double check your cognomen. Cornelius Calum. Is that correct? Very good. Pick a number between 1 and 5, and I'll issue you your faction cards.
I'm going first. I'll go middle. 3, please.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I need you to take the optimates. So these ones you're going to right-click and take into your hand. Okay, so don't show anyone these ones. Right-click, take into your hand. Okay, on to Sempronius, number between 1 and 4.
1.
1, which is actually this one over here. Have I got enough cards there? Probably. Oh, yes, I do. They're hiding. Very good. I just want to make sure everyone gets the exact same amount of 3 faction cards here. All right, I'm going to drag them up to you. They're in your play area. Okay, Cornelius Dolabella, between 1 and 3.
5.
Okay, 5 is between 1 and 3. Very good. I'll drag that over to your play area. Okay.
Sorry, I thought you said 1 and 7.
It's all right. And then let's go on to Indominus, 1 and 2.
Number 2, thanks.
Number 2, let me just update my view. I'm going to right-click, take into hand. And finally, Posthumus is getting the last deck here. And you're in the centre. There you go. So right-click, take into hand.
Thank you.
Hopefully there should be nothing unusual in there. You could have one of 3 different things or 4 different things potentially in your hand. You could have intrigue cards. You could have assassin cards, bodyguard cards, concessions, which is will have the corrupt marker down the centre. And the way that you position those cards, if you decide to play those, is you will hide the corrupt portion behind one of your senators, and that will show the portfolio where you could earn some extra dollars, some extra talents. And if you happen to take that, which is oddly enough compulsory if you play them, you'll reveal that corrupt portion. It just shows you're eligible for a minor prosecution that round. Something else you could also have in your hand, you could also have prominent statesmen, which look very similar to the black text family cards already in your play area. And those have special conditions. Ideally, you can only play those to your own faction if you have the matching family card, or the matching family card does not already exist somewhere else in one of the other factions. And you'll know that by the ID number. Okay, so the statesman, if you have one, will be a number followed by an alphanumeric character. So it might be 12A, it might be 7B, for example. If you've got the matching number in your faction, you will be able to play that at a point which we'll talk about in just a moment. If somebody else has that ID number, that matching ID number, you cannot play that card. However, that becomes a bargaining chip for you to make a potential future political deal with that faction to trade that card later on. And as a quick pop quiz, when can you trade cards? Who can remember that?
Is it population? No.
I'll give you a hint. It's the last phase.
But we don't know what these cards are until we draw them at the right point in the game, do we?
Well, that's right. I mean, you know what the cards are now that you have and you're looking at. But right, more of these types of cards will come out during the course of the game. Yep.
Well, but how can I look at them?
So above your camera, you will see a little card icon with a number. Okay, so I'm going to drag some cameras. All right. So if you click on that little card icon above your camera with the number, it'll open up
above my camera.
Yeah, you'll see the little card with a number 3 above your camera icon.
I can see the camera icon, but there's nothing above it.
Everyone else can see their cards, okay?
Yep.
All right.
I had this problem because the pictures were on the top, so I had to move the pictures to the bottom.
There you go.
and then
So
I could see them.
you're right. So drag your camera down a little bit because it's hidden. Yeah, good point there, Cornelius. Well done. Down the bottom left of your camera there, Cornelius Dolabella, you'll see the 3 little horizontal bars pop up. Just drag your camera down a little bit and it will reveal, hidden, above your camera, your little card icons. Yeah, you can drag the camera around, essentially.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And if you click on that icon, it'll pop up your cards. And you should be able to view those and look around on those. There we go.
Now I've got someone else sitting on top of me.
Sorry, it looks like if I drag cameras around, obviously it might affect you guys. I'm just going to reposition these over here. Is that affecting everybody?
No.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
So, Cornelius, if you go to the wheel where the chat is,
There we
and
go.
you go to Game Settings, and you go Player Video Avatar Size. Do you know where I am? Mark, Chris?
Sorry? No, I've still got someone sitting on top of me.
You just need to drag their camera out of the way. That's all. If you look for those 3 little horizontal bars down the bottom left of their camera again, just drag their position out of the way and move
I
that
can't see the 3 little bars on. Oh, it was on there.
Next-
It's not working.
next to their name. You can drag
Yeah.
those camera positions around.
Yeah, but it's not like it says it's moving it, but then it doesn't actually move. That time it did.
There you go. Might have just been a bit of lag, perhaps. And then you should be able to access your cards. Okay, so while people are studying their cards, let's go through the process, shall we, of electing our first temporary Rome consul. Very exciting. This position wields a little bit of power in the first instance. Let's go to Indominus. You know where those rollable tables are for the mortality chit. Do you recall where those are?
Yep.
If you go ahead and go hit the roll button next to that, and that will be how we'll select our temporary Rome consul.
Oh, actually...
It's in the collections part of the menu next to your settings.
Oh, yep. Okay, here we go. Mortality chip rolling
Right,
now.
hit the button. Okay, first one's a draw 2. That's nothing. Roll again. Okay, first one is a 3. Who has Senator ID number 3? Anybody?
Not me.
Not me.
Hang on a sec. I just need to... Nope.
What about Sempronius or Cornelius Dolbella? Do you either of you have Senator with ID number 3?
Not I. No.
No.
Okay, let's re-roll again. 24. No one's going to have 24 yet. Re-roll again. This number is 7. Anybody with Senator ID number 7?
Yes, I've got.
Fulvius. There we go. Fulvius. Let's scroll down and have a zoom in on you. Yes, indeed. And the square brackets suggest also that there is a statesman card somewhere out there for you as well. So just make sure you've assigned your faction leader. Make sure you've assigned your age tokens as well. I'm going to drag down the Rome consul name plaque for you as well. We're also going to put on... I'm just going to make sure all your cards at the back so that all the tokens feature on the front. There we go. And you're also getting the prior consul marker as well. Perfect.
Woohoo!
Now,
Now I've got to do a speech, don't I? Damn it.
Yeah, that's right. Now, what you'll also need to do is you now need to add 5 influence to that senator, so for a total of 9. So you'll need to grab yourself the appropriate black or grey tokens and position that in such a way that it reveals the number 9 as influence for that senator. So he gets 5 influence for gaining the office of Rome consul. So yeah, you'll just put that over the number 4 on Fulvius's card.
There we go.
All right, well done. Okay, so you'll need to now update your faction influence box as well, as you've now had your faction influence total change.
Yep, by 5, so that takes it to 14.
On the vote tally, what are the red squares there?
Okay, yes, certainly. So I'm just going to scroll up. Indominus just asked, there are some red squares on the central vote tally icon, and please, if you haven't done already, make sure that your respective central vote tally token has been updated, so everyone can see your votes. And the red ones will need to be updated as well. So just quickly stepping through them, M stands for majority, which is the 51% mark of the total votes. The 2/3 marker represents, obviously, the 2/3 majority, which is primarily used when ousting Pontifex Maximus in a proposal. And then there's two together there at the moment. One is T for total, so that's pretty much the sum of all the votes of all the factions. And finally, A stands for available votes, which will always usually be equal to or less than T for total, which implies that there's usually senators outside of Rome whose votes aren't counting towards a particular proposal. Not a particularly useful one, and by all means, a presiding magistrate could propose a whole change to how that vote tally is handled, should they desire.
So the 51 should be on the 18, 50 the medium.
So the majority.
70.5 is the half the votes.
Yeah. So what's our current total that it should be right now? So what's our total
35.
votes? 35. Okay. So yep, the 51 half of 35. Yep, will be your majority. So yep, simple majority is all that's needed to cast a proposal in favour of.
So should be I can't move the red one, so that should be 18.
That's interesting. Let's see why you may not be able to change that. Let's change that to 18 while we're there. There we go. And the total should be 35. Did we say?
Yep.
Okay, we'll move those down there, and then whoever's good at math, who can calculate 2/3 of that. Perfect. Okay, all right. So we've assigned temporary Rome consul. Everybody has assigned their age markers, their faction tokens, faction leader tokens. I've seen the Reaper's Party with Cornelius Dobella. You've yet to assign your faction leader.
How do I do that?
Your little faction leader tokens next to your title in your play area, next to your larger symbol. Can you see that up there?
Okay, right.
Yep. Go ahead and assign your faction leader.
Cool.
The 2/3 should be on 24.
24. Yeah. Thank you. Good math. Well done. And sorry, you had a question?
Yes. Mortality chits, is number 1 the one I want to die the least, or is number 1 the one I want to die the most?
Correct. So the higher the number, the older they are. So yeah, as you would expect for ages. Yep.
You're very much a glass half empty sort.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, now what we're going to do is we get to do the initial playing of faction cards, okay, which happens at the start of the game. And pretty much, if you've got any, let's step through this slowly before we play cards. If you've got any concessions that you wish to play, and we're going to start with the highest ranking available officer, and we're going to go clockwise around the playing area. Excuse me. And so if you've got any concessions that you want to play, you can assign them in any combination to any number of your senators. If you've also got statesmen that you are legally allowed to play, you can also play them at this time as well. Again, starting with the highest ranking available officer. Okay, so the highest ranking available officer, the HRAO, is indeed Fulvius, who is run by the Optimates and Cornelius. So we're going to start with you. So from the 3 cards in your hand, if you have any concessions or if you have any statesmen that you're legally able to play, you may now play them. If you've got questions, we can talk about that. Now, you don't have to play anything. You can hang on to them if you wish.
I'll take no action.
Okay, we'll take no action. A very conservative approach there. Rotating around, we're now going to go to the Reaper's Party, and under Cornelius Dolabella, do you have any cards, concessions, or legal statesmen that you wish to play at this time?
Hang on, I'm just trying to see the things, but it's so small I can't read.
You can zoom in, so if you click once on them, they should zoom in on your screen. They should enlarge. Okay.
There you go. Right.
So don't read them out just yet. Just have a read of them. All right. So you got concession cards, and you know what a concession card is because they'll have a big corrupt word down the centre that gets you more revenue during the revenue phase if you'd like to play those. Or you could play a statesman, which looks very similar to the family cards on the deck, but make sure you have the matching number. And if it's not a matching number, you can only play it if that ID number doesn't exist in any other faction right now. Would you like some assistance? Because I can check if you like.
Can you only play 1 card?
You can play as many as you like at this point.
Or do we go around in circles until everyone stops playing?
No, you can play any number of cards as you like as we go around in the circle. So we're just waiting on Cornelius right now.
Well, I have a concession card.
Yes. Would
So
you like to
if
play
I
that?
wanted to give, yeah, why not? Let's
Sure.
do something.
Perfect. All right. So what you want to do is you want to drag that card to your playing area first.
Okay. There you go.
And now flip it over.
All right, hang on. I'm just trying to move the thing so I can.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right click flip.
Flip.
We'll let that load in. Perfect. All right. And you've played Tax Farmer 3. Now, which senator would you like to earn a little bit of extra income this coming round?
Now, there's a good question, isn't it? Oh, should I give it to my faction leader? But then he might get charged or something.
Maybe, if you happen to be the only one, potentially. And that's assuming that the censor does, in fact, want to hold prosecutions.
Who is the censor?
That will be the only person with a prior console marker. And guess who that is right now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who
Get to your head.
who have you chosen, Cornelius Dobella?
The one I've got in the middle, Julius.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position these for you to make that make this work nicely. So the way you move the card, and we're going to send this to the back, is you slip the card in behind like this, so you can see Tax Farmer 3, and then eventually when you take the concession, you'll reveal the corrupt portion of the card at the appropriate time to show, yes, indeed, that this will be eligible for a minor corruption during the Senate phase. But for now, we'll tuck that back in like that, and you're going to earn an extra 2 talents for Aurelius, ID number 4, in the revenue phase. Well done. Is there any other cards that you wish to play at this time?
No, thanks. I think one.
Perfect. Okay, let's move on to Indominus. Any cards that you wish to play?
Yeah, I'm going to play 2.
Okay.
I'm going to play this one here.
Drop and flip.
Flip.
Okay, yep, Egyptian grain, good for, is that, say, 3 or 5? How much is that? Let me zoom in.
That's 5.
Oh, wow, that's a fair bit of revenue. I'll put that to the back for you if you like. There we go. Excellent. And what's the other one you'd like to play?
I'm going to play this guy here.
Let's flip over. Okay, let's, I think that will be a legal move because 22 will not exist on the field right now. That is a fantastic card to be playing. So you now have essentially 4 senators in your field. So
I need to change my my influence.
Correct. You need to update your influence and your faction votes. You're actually going to get an extra 6. Faction votes because of Cato the Elder. So you're becoming quite a wieldy faction in the beginning moments. Now, let's talk through that card. If everybody would like to look at Indominus's play area, please. If it helps, I'm going to center everybody's view. Get ready. Here we go. Okay, everybody's view should be updated. So he has a couple of special abilities, as all statesmen do. Okay. First of all, you can see he gets 1 free tribune per turn.
Sorry, my view didn't change.
Sorry. Yep. Let's do it again. How's that?
That's got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So you can see that he gets 1 free tribune per turn, which we know is anything from putting through a proposal if you're not a presiding magistrate through to using a veto. He can also get an extra plus 6 votes on law proposals. I don't think there's a great deal many of laws in the early republic, but that will come handy later on. You're not a particularly good military leader, but he's fantastically in the oratory department. And he is going to have a base 10 loyalty, provided he's not in the same faction as Scipio or Flaminus, because apparently he doesn't like either of them. Okay. All right, so he will maintain his 10 loyalty provided he's not in the same faction. Okay,
do I need to put an H chip on him?
Not yet. Okay. Not yet. He will eventually get one.
He's guaranteed to last 1 turn.
Yeah, correct. Okay, let's move across to Sempronius. Any cards you'd like to play? Oh, yeah, is that all your cards in Indominus?
Yes, that's
good. Sempronius, any cards you'd like to play?
Yes, I'll play 1.
Okay. Drop and flip into your play area.
Here we go. Hold on.
Okay, and he has played a Tax Farmer 4 concession, which gives him an extra 2 talents per turn, and I'll just send that card backwards so it'll fit in behind. There you go. Assign that to whatever senator you like.
And that'll do for me.
Okay, very good. And down to the last one there for Posthumous. Any cards that you'd like to play?
Yes, indeed. So I'll play this one first. Here we
You
are.
can play Shipbuilding. Very good. Immediately collects 3 talents for every new fleet built. That's a very good one. All right, who are you going to assign that to? I'll just throw that card backwards for you. There you go.
Stick it there. So
Piccius is going to get that one. Okay. Any more?
Yeah, I got one more, so I'll take him down as well.
Okay, Tax Farmer 1, an extra 2 talents per turn, and you can assign that to still any of your 3, including Sulpicius, if that's what you desire.
Shit. Select both. Oh, can you send it back?
Certainly can. Yep, there we go.
Thank you. And perfect.
All right, so for those at home, I'm now modifying the view back to the cheat sheet, and for all my players on the Roll20, that the cheat sheet is the guide that we'll be referencing for those quick hints on what's going to happen next. So we are now ready to start the game, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Wow, what an epic start. All right, okay, so let's go straight into the first phase, the Mortality Phase. First of all, this becomes more prominent later in the game, but we check for things to do with imminent wars. Right now, there's no matching wars, nothing to do there, no movements from wars around the board, so that's fine. What we will highlight now is in the inactive war section, we have the first Punic War, okay? And that will remain inactive until such time either a matching war comes out or the Senate chooses to attack it. Okay, let's do the aging part of the Mortality Phase. And this is quite simple, is you just need to up the age by 1 of all of your senators. Okay, so if they have a 2, they get a 3. If they have a 3, they get a 4. If they have nothing, they get a 1. Okay, so if you'd all like to do that now, you'll need to probably grab perhaps new mortality chit tokens from down the bottom centre. If you like, Cornelius Dobella, I can help you. Can I get you a 4 to help you out? I think that's a 4. Just double check. Is that a 4 I've just given you?
I can't see it.
It'll be right in the centre of your play area. Next to Valerius. You might need to zoom out a little if you can't already see.
Okay.
So
what, I take the old one off?
So Achilles, you'll need to remove his 3 and give him the 4. Ullius will go from the 2 to the 3, and Valerius will go from the 1 to the 2.
Oh, well, hang on. Take the one off Achilles.
Yep.
And give him the
4.
The
Yeah, everyone's just going up by 1 number. That's it.
Right, so that's in there.
Good.
Where do I throw this 3 now?
You'll need to give that to Ullius, number 4, or Julius, depending on whether you're using Latin or English. So remove his 2 and replace it with that 3.
Oh, right, okay.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. And then the 2 you've just taken off Julius, you can put on Valerius's card with the 1, and I can take that 1 back for you now. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yes, that was 2.
Perfect. Let's check on how Dominus is doing. Good.
Can you move?
Yep.
Front?
Done. He's moved backwards. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Just keep reminding me, particularly if new cards go down, I have to send them backwards. Make sure the ordering is nice.
You can't give us the rights to do that ourselves?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll have a look through the settings in the near future, but no, I don't think so. Okay. Anybody still aging their senators? Everyone's done? Great. Let's move on. Okay, let's move into the revenue phase. Very simply, in the beginning, we now need to calculate all of our personal revenues. I'll give you a little bit of a lowdown as per the cheat sheet, but ultimately this will become a much quicker process, and it becomes a bit of a gentleman's notion in that you'll just tell me what your totals are. I'll issue you your funds in the funds distribution point down the bottom centre, and you'll drag those back to and put on that money onto your respective senators as they've earned their income. So I'm just going to reveal the pay portion down the bottom centre, and let's talk about to calculate your total revenue. So, as per the cheat sheet, your faction leaders gain 3 talents. Every other senator gains 1 talent. And that's pretty much all we need to worry about in the beginning, except for all those that have concessions, which will mostly be the tax farmer concessions. Those senators will also get, in addition to that base income, that money as well. So the only people that aren't going to earn money off concessions is those with the fleet concession. You won't earn anything off that yet. And just double checking, not overly familiar with the Egyptian grain. So that is one of the only few concessions that is voluntary, and that's double the concession if you... right, so it's 5, but you can double it to 10, I understand, if you take -2 popularity, if there's a drought in effect, +1 income multiplier, -1 popularity per additional drought effect, blah, 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 a whole bunch of other caveats. Right, so only if there's a drought in effect can you decide to double the concession. So right now that's worth to you 5. That you'll take 5 this turn for Manlius. Okay, so go ahead, add up all those values. Everyone should at least be getting 3, 4, at least 5 talents. That's it. But those with concessions will gain extra. So let's start with Sempronius. How much money am I going to give you?
7.
Okay, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to drag that to your distribution zone. Very good. Hand of God faction. How much am I giving you?
7 as well, please.
5, 6, 7. Now, make sure if you've got concessions, you do have to take it. Okay, there we go. Who is the... Sorry, question?
Where are we picking it up from?
Down the very bottom centre, I'm issuing the funds into your faction zones.
Yep. Okay, yeah, got it.
That's it. Now, who's the Half Moon faction? Which is... the Optimates. How many funds am I getting you?
3, 4, 5.
5 again here.
I'm Paul.
Okay. Well, I put those in the wrong one. 1, 2... Okay, there you go. There's your 5 for the Optimates. And for Cornelius Dolabella, how many funds am I giving you?
7.
7, 5... Oh, hang on. I think I might have issued somebody Optimates. I've given you 2 extra. Yep.
Right.
Give me your...
Oh.
There you go, down the bottom for you, Cornelius Dolabella, and then finally...
and the bottom of what? My playing area?
No, at the bottom centre of the total VTT, so in between the playing areas, right down the bottom, next under the tokens. Oh. You'll see your money in your zone. And for Indominus, how much am I getting you?
11, thanks.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... I'll give you 2 of those and 1 of those, that'll be quicker. Of course, I can always exchange talents for different denominations should you desire. There you go, it's in the zone. I've got the 2 overpaid tokens there. Got those back. Great. Do you...
we hide these under our chest, do we?
No, not necessarily. So right now, all the money should be, ideally should be sitting on the senators who earned that income, but I'm not too fussed about that at the moment because you can decide to move that around. So provided you just have that money in your zone for the moment, and we'll talk about how you can deposit into your faction treasury very shortly.
So we move it from here into our playing area?
Yep, just move the money from there into your playing area for the time being, okay? And I'm going to get ready to make some notes for your faction treasuries. Okay, so for those that have got the appropriate concessions, you should have also taken that money in your income as well. Okay, so you'll see the next step is that redistribution step. So at this point here, you can move the money around your faction as you like. So if you want split the money between all of your senators, if you want one senator to hold all the money, if you also want to deposit money into your faction treasury, you'll do the following process. So ideally you'd like your faction treasury to remain secret. What you want to do is within your respective playing areas you have a chest. You should be able to move this chest around. Hopefully any money that you've got in your playing area will be hidden if you move the money underneath the chest. If it's not, let me know and we'll fix that. Now I see Cornelius Dolabella, you still haven't collected your money.
Well, I can't move it over.
Are you going to the right and down?
Yeah, but I've got to get it back to my area.
Yeah, it helps if you zoom out and you can drag in one, but I'm going to do it for you to help you out, okay? There we go, it's back in the centre of your view area.
See, if I zoom out, then I can't see it.
Only zoom out a little bit. There you go. Okay. So for any money that you want to deposit into your faction treasury, hide it under your chest, and then if you click and drag a box over that chest, it'll move everything as one and drag that down back into the deposit area, your respective faction deposit area. I'll take that chest in, calculate how much money you've deposited, and I'll keep a note secret in the background. You can ask me through a whisper anytime you wish to know the total of your faction treasury, okay?
So we just move it into our chest?
You can just leave it in your playing area if that helps, but if you really want it to be secret, you should move your chest and deposit it to me. But I'm pretty sure no one's going to go looking under your chest. That could be a good gentleman's agreement, okay? So yes, any money that you want to deposit into your faction treasury, you can just leave under your chest.
Okay, but so do you give it to your senators or...?
That's up to you. So you can distribute those funds as you like. So you, as I said before, you could split it equally amongst your senators in your treasury, or give it all to your treasury, or give it just all to your senators. You could give it just to one senator. You can distribute those funds however you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say split it amongst them,
yes,
I've got a 5 talent here. Do I have to go back get ones?
If that's what you would like, yes. And if that helps in the future, I'll just issue everybody 1 single talents until told otherwise. So can I get you 5 single talents then, Sempronius?
No, that's fine. I've just assigned it to my...
Sure, okay.
He can decide what to do with it.
I might issue them in ones unless signposted otherwise, because people do like to distribute at that level of granularity I've noticed in the past. So I see the Optimates still haven't done anything with their money. I see it sitting in the centre there.
I'll just put it there, but yeah, I think I'm going to spend it when I get the chance.
Yeah, so no worries, yep. So make sure it's, if you can, try and have it on a senator card, or obvious that it looks like it is assigned to a senator, so yep. Fine for Indominus's faction, fine for Sempronius's faction, that's fine. Just waiting on the Reaper's party to assign the talent, I see there, the 5 talents. Okay, good, perfect. I think everybody's set. Okay, we've now done the redistribution phase. Any questions before we move on? Okay, next we're going to do, there's no province development to do right now because we have no governors and no provinces. We're now going to do the state revenue. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to ask our current temporary Rome consul to do this next part, is the state treasury now receives its funds, and that is in the order of 100 talents. That's all that it's earning right now, and I'd like you to update the state treasury. And for those that don't know, the state treasury is right at the top in the purple next to the Indominus's playing zone. You'll see it currently says 100, so I guess we need to replace a 1 with a 2 to make it 200.
Great.
Okay.
I might have enough funds to
might be able to do
on
something.
the punes.
Yeah. Might be actually do something.
By the way, the votes have changed on the vote tally as well.
Oh, good. Have you just updated that, have you?
I can't move them.
Oh, really?
I've updated mine, but I can't move the red ones.
Oh, okay. If you know what those numbers are, I can move them now.
Yeah, it's 41.
Oh, hang on. I know why they can't move. Bear with me. I'm going to update them right now. Control by all players, save changes. Control by all players, save changes. Control by all players, save changes. I think we've done that one, yes, and the last one, controlled by all players, save changes. Okay, now you should be able to move them, Indominus.
Okay.
Sorry, I hadn't assigned the appropriate player permissions for those. That'll make things easier. And I'm pleased that you're keeping that updated. That'll make things much easier for us in the future.
No worries.
Well done to you. You'll earn the gratitude of your fellow senators.
Yes.
Okay, so let's double check. The state treasury has in fact been updated. We now have 200 talents. Good job. Okay. Now, at this point in time, we can also allow contributions to the state treasury from individual senators. If you're looking at your cheat sheet, for those playing at home, we'll zoom in on that little portion there. For every 10 talents from a single senator treasury, personal treasury, you can gain 1 influence. 25 talents gives you 3 influence. 50 talents gives you 7. Now, if anybody has 10 or more talents on an individual senator, which I don't think is the case, you could now contribute to the state treasury to earn influence, but I'm fairly certain nobody has that right now, because I think the highest income I saw earned was 7. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
Now we have...
It was greater than 7.
Yeah, I earned 11, but I haven't put it on the one cent.
Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, good pickup. Now let's do the debts. Okay, so now we need to pay all the debts that are out there for the state. So first of all, we need to pay for all of our fleets and legions. And for those that are looking into the central green grassed area under active forces in between the 6 playing zones, you'll see we currently have 4 legions currently active and in service to the Roman Republic. So that means we need to pay we'll need to pay 2 talents for each of those legions. 2 times 4 is 8 last time I checked. So therefore we need to deduct 8 talents from the state treasury. And again, we'll ask the temporary Rome consul to do the math and deduct that from the state treasury.
Alright, there's moving a 9 and a 2 very slowly up.
Yep, like I said, if it helps, if you can get the optimum zoom level and you can move it in one go, that's what I do often for Cornelius Dolabella, and perhaps the likes of Indominus and Sempronius probably have to do something similar, being so far away from a lot of the tokens. I'm going to have a cup of tea and a sip of tea while you're doing that.
Careful there. Oh. There we go. That's the problem of having the videos on the top.
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh, damn it. I forgot a 1. I should have taken a 1.
I'll help you. Hang on.
No, that's...
If you need a 1, there's a 1 up there with you now.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
192, that's right. If it helps, you can I can drag those numbers back for you now.
What's that, is that?
Get rid of those. Oop. Move that over there. I'm going to move that writing over there. That's better. Get rid of those numbers. Take those back down. Okay. Let's move on quickly. Okay, so local forces again and governorship stuff, that'll only come into play once we actually get a province. Okay. Fantastic. We now complete the next phase. The revenue phase is now completed. We're now going to move on to the forum phase. Okay, and this is where the exciting things start to happen. Starting with the passage of time. There are currently no events in play, so there's no effects there. Now we need to step through the initiative process, and we get to roll some dice. Which is pretty exciting. Okay, first of all, starting with the highest ranking available officer, we're going to be moving clockwise. So again, moving to Cornelius with the temporary Rome consul. You now need to roll, as per the cheat sheet, it says 2d6. And let's talk about what's going to happen. You'll roll 2d6. If you roll a 7, you'll then have to roll for an event, and you will not get to draw a card from the deck, and then the event will be read out and then will be put into play. Events can be good or bad, so we'll see what happens there. So anytime anyone rolls exactly a 7 from a 2d6, if you do not roll a 7, then you will get to draw a card, and then you'll step on with the rest of your initiative step. So what you need to do now is need to roll the appropriate dice from that left-hand column. You need to roll if you hover over the dice icon, go to the second row where it says D6, and then click the number 2, and then you need to roll that across your screen. Okay, so I've seen that you've rolled a 6 and a 5, which 11. Is an 11, okay, which is not a 7. So you now get to draw a card from the Early Republic deck. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the mechanics will work, but what it should do is draw a card into your hand. So you want to take the number 1 top card from the Early Republic deck. I see you've successfully done that. Okay, now here we go. Is it red text or black text?
Let me find out.
Your new card.
Yep, so I'm just putting it black text.
It's black text. If it's black text, I'd like you to draw it to the center forum, the sandpit area under forums and proposals, and flip it over for me, please, if it's black text.
Right. It is black text.
So
we have...
There we go. I'll drag it in the middle. So what we're looking at here is essentially a war hero. Antonius or Antiochus the third, and Antiochus. Who would like to try and pronounce that? Anybody?
I think Antiochus.
Antiochus, I like that. Antioxidants, perhaps. So this is a war leader for the Syrian wars. Okay, right now we have no Syrian wars, and therefore he's not going to add any strength to any Syrian wars. And because he's got no war cards to belong to, he is going to end up in the Curia under enemy leaders. And there is a chance each phase, each forum phase that we go through, that he could be eliminated and have no effect on the game, which is positive. So what we're going to do now is, for those that are looking at that center area, I'm going to drag that card down to the Curia, okay? And eventually...
Are you saying he's an enemy hero, not a
he is an enemy hero for the Syrian Wars. That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got a destination card on him.
Maybe. But right now he has no effect on us, which is good. That's good news. So that's a good first draw. Okay, we now need to complete rest of Cornelius's initiative phase. The first question to you is: would you like to conduct a persuasion attempt? Okay, so this is relying on, for those who have read a little bit on the persuasion attempt rules, what that means is you have the opportunity, using one of your senators, to influence a senator from another faction to join your faction. Some key things to note here: it relies heavily on influence. It also relies on your target's personal treasury, and also noting that any other faction can bid against your persuasion attempt to make it harder for you as well. Yes. I do not discourage this or encourage it either way. It is simply there, and a decision for you to make if you so would like to at this point.
That's great. I will hang back from influencing anyone, from trying to persuade anyone over just now.
Sure, doesn't want to take too many enemies up front so far. Okay, next what we'd like to do is you get an opportunity to roll for knights, and for some reason everybody forgets this step. It's a freebie, and you might as well do it. So to begin with, you can roll a 1d6 to roll a knight, and on a 6 you'll get one. What is a knight for? Essentially means you get extra income. Okay, there's a certain step where you can actually pressure those knights for double the income, but you lose them later. But I'll let you guys read up on that. But it's really a free roll. If you'd like to increase your odds, you can spend a talent from the treasury of the senator who is rolling for the knight to increase the odds, and that increases by 1 on the die for every talent you spend from that personal treasury. So first of all, which senator are you going to attempt to roll a knight for?
I'll do it for what's his name? The one that put the money on.
Fulvius, yep, number 7. Would you like to expend any talents to increase your probability of rolling a knight?
I would like to spend 2 talents.
Certainly. If you want to throw your 5 down into your zone for me, and I'll give you change. And I'll keep the 2 talents, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're in there. So there's 1, 2. I should be able to give you 3 back. There we go, and 2 for spending. All right. So now you have to roll a 3, 4, 5, or a 6 to roll a knight, and that's pretty good odds. So go ahead using your die rolling mechanism again. There, select the D6, and you just want to roll one of those. So I think if you just hit the D6 itself, and you've rolled a 2. and you did not achieve a knight for that round. Okay, so the third part of your initiative phase is if you simply want to change your faction leader. Do you want to do that at this point?
I do not.
Okay, and finally, and I don't think you may be able to do this because of money limitations, but you can sponsor games which can increase the popularity of your senator for a number of talents. Starting at 7 as the base level, you can earn 1 popularity, and minusing unrest levels as well, but I don't think you've got the money for that. And that will conclude your initiative phase. Okay, we're now going to rotate clockwise down across to the Reaper's Party, and Cornelius Dolabella. It's now going to be your initiative phase. So if you'd like to go ahead and roll 2d6, and we'll see what that comes out to be. Are you familiar with how to roll dice there, Cornelius Dolabella?
Yeah.
Yep, so you want to roll 2d6.
2d6.
Correct. We'll wait for the chat to give us the results.
Well, I heard him roll, but...
No, I haven't seen the roll come through yet. If you struggle, I'll be able to do it on your behalf. Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's it. So you've rolled a 5 and a 1, which gives us a 6. So there are no 7, so you get to draw a card. So what you want to do is head over to the Early Republic deck, Cornelius Dolabella, and you want to draw a single card, which will go into your hand.
Where...
So far right-hand side, you'll see 2 decks of cards.
Yeah.
One, the top one, I think, is the Early Republic deck.
Yeah,
You need to draw the top card. Yep, draw the top card. It'll go into your hand above your camera. So once you let me know when you've done that.
Oh, it says draw multiple cards.
No, just one. You just want to draw just one. Yep, draw just one card. And it should. There you go. So now above your camera, you should see it's gone up by one. Now, is it a red text or a black text card that you just drew?
Hang on, I'm trying to zoom in on it so I can.
Yep, that's not a problem. Have a look at it. So if it's in black text, let me know. If it's red text, let me know.
I can't seem to. Oh, there we go. Finally came up. It's black text.
Okay, so that means it'll be revealed to everybody. Can you please drag that card to the center of the forum, please?
Okay.
And then flip it over. That brand new one that you just drew, which is black text, which is referred to as a forum card.
Oh.
Have you just? I think you can just drag it out, right?
Hang on.
Holding. You might need to close your view if you've got it zoomed in.
Yeah, I had to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there he is in the sandbox.
All right, and I'll flip the card over on your behalf, and it is okay, very interesting. This is the Second Illyrian War. So for everybody, if you're looking at the central sandpit under forums and proposals, we are now looking at a war card, and it says the Second Illyrian War. And let's talk about this a little. It actually is the second of a set of wars. And you can actually see a little scutum, the red shield there on the front. That means it immediately becomes active. Okay, so this will be an active war, and I'm going to drag this down now to the active wars box. It has only a strength of 4, which I don't consider particularly terrible. It does require to be accompanied by 2 Roman fleets in order to prosecute the logistics for this war. There's no naval battle. There's no naval battle to be fought, which is good news. And if you win the war, the state treasury earns 10 talents. If you happen to go and defeat the other Illyrian war, it'll create a province. Creates province of Illyrium, however you want to pronounce that, if both the wars are defeated. So you're halfway there to creating a province should you defeat this war. So for whoever becomes the first presiding magistrate, you'll need to take that into account. Okay, let's continue with Cornelius Dolabella's initiative. Would you like to persuade any senators this round?
I don't think so.
Okay, not a problem. Let's go ahead and roll you for a knight. Which senator would you like to attempt to roll for a knight?
Probably my leader, Valeri.
Yeah, Valerius, certainly. Okay, now would you see he's got no talents on his card, so we're just going to have a single 1d6 roll. Just roll a 1d6 for me, and we'll see if you're lucky. You need to roll a 6. And he rolls a 5, unlucky there. You won't get a knight. Okay, moving on. Would you like to change your faction leader, which you can do at this point? No, you don't need to if you don't want to.
No, I think I'll leave him for the moment.
Finally, good. And because you don't have the additional funds to sponsor games, that will conclude your initiative, and we'll move on to Idomenus. Idomenus, I think you know the routine from here. Let's go ahead and roll that 2d6.
So just to roll the dice, do you just type in roll?
That is one way you can do it. Of course, you can select the 3D dice from the left-hand side menu, hovering over the second row and clicking the number 2, then clicking dragging, I think throws the dice across your screen and it'll feature in chat. Or you can just do /roll and then the formula for 2d6. I think that should come up as well.
No, I think you lost me on the first bit.
So you see that little thin menu on the left-hand side?
On the left-hand
side? Yeah, left-hand side. And you see second one from the bottom. Yep.
Okay.
You'll remember that from the tutorials. There you go. You've rolled 2 dice, and it is a 6. It's not a 7. Please go ahead and draw a single card from the top of the Early Republic deck, please. And that'll go into your hand initially. All things going well. Good. Now let us know, is it a black text or red text?
It's a black text.
Okay, that means it's a forum card. Let's see it. Let's drag it to that center sandpit under forums and proposals, and let's discuss.
Hope I did the right thing.
Let's have a look. I think you can just drag it out, and then just flip it over. There it is, and go ahead and flip that over. Yep, great, very good. And now we have a new senator on the field. It is Plautius, ID number 17. He is currently what we refer to as an unaligned senator in the game. These are perhaps the most easiest to influence and bring into your faction because they are not aligned and they generally don't have a treasury on them. And so that moves us to probably the next point, and I can probably guess the guy's answer is...
landing.
Yeah, there you go. So the first question I asked of Indominus is, would you like to conduct a persuasion attempt on any senators in Rome?
Yes, I would.
He certainly would indeed. Okay, so what we're going to do...
from me.
I suspect I know who. First of all, I need you to nominate the senator that is going to do the influencing. Which senator might that be?
So does the influence value help in this case?
Very much so.
All right, in that case, it'll be Manlius.
Okay, good. And he has an influence of 4. All right. And for those who are playing along at home, we're looking at the not the prosecutions. We're looking for the persuasion attempts form here, and I'm going to bring up my little cheat sheet formula in front of me as well. There we go. Because we need to form what they refer to as a base number for the persuasion attempt check. So we do know that the Manlius, who is doing the influencing, has an influence currently of 4, and the target senator is...
So Plautius?
It is indeed Plautius, and we know currently he has an influence of 2 there, and he's got no treasury. So, first of all, we need to work out the base number. Now, what is the oratory rating of Manlius?
2.
2. We already know his influence is 4. Now, you can also help your cause by adding optional bribes from Manlius's card, but I see there is no money on his card, so there won't be any additional bribes at this point. So that currently gives us a total of 6. Now what we need to do is work out some numbers for the target senator. So the target senator, we take into account his loyalty. Now, his current loyalty there says 6. Okay. Plus any personal treasury that he has, which is none, plus any alignment, which he has none. So, and then we minus, and we get an opportunity here for anybody else to counter bribe to increase the odds. So the larger this number that we're currently calculating, the harder it is to calculate. Right now, the current base number is in fact 0, and the persuasion fails if the 2d6 is greater than the base number, and we know the base number is 0, and there's no way you can roll less than 0. So really, we don't need to progress any further at this point because it'll be an automatic fail. So you ask then, well, how do you persuade a senator then? Ideally, having larger influence is the way to go, and also bribing the target senator will also increase your odds of a favourable persuasion attempt. It just so happens that because we only had the 6 from the persuading senator and 6 as a target, immediately it's a base 0, and anybody else was just going to potentially pack on the counter bribes, which makes it more difficult. So no persuasion has occurred at this point. So let's move on with the rest of Indominus's initiative. Would you like to roll for a knight, and for whom in your faction?
So that I will roll for Porcius.
Hang on, let me just check your senators. So you've got... for Cato the Elder, yeah, certainly. Would you like to spend any talents to increase your odds?
Yeah, I'm going to spend 1.
Yeah, perfect. All right, and I'll take that 1 from you, and I'll drag that back down into the bank. Okay, so you need to roll a 5 or a 6 on this one. Go ahead and roll your 1d6.
There we go.
And would you look at that? You've got yourself a 6. Well done. Go ahead. I'll drag this up for you on your behalf into your play area. Bear with me. Okay, there should be a number 1 knight somewhere in your... I think it's actually next to Manlius right now. Put that in the knight's box of Cato the Elder, which is that right-hand box down the bottom of Cato's card. And that means you get 1 additional talent now in the revenue phase. So that's good. I'll ask the question now. Would you like to change your faction leader?
No, I'm good.
Very good. Next
Mario, didn't Indominus? He didn't get that senator.
Who didn't? No, he did not persuade. No, he did not. No. So it's
not as easy as it looks.
No. High influence is the winner here, and then potentially bribing that senator as well is the way to go. But right, yeah, influence is, as you've already worked out, is the major driver to be able to influence senators. Plautius was not convinced.
So you needed an alley bag full of cash.
Yeah, a bag of cash always helps, right? Yeah, that's right. And you decided you're not going to change your faction leader in Dominus?
That's right.
Perfect. And I think you're not going to sponsor any games because of finance woes at the moment. And that'll conclude your initiative. Okay, now let's move on to Sempronius. Sempronius, I think you know the deal. Go ahead and roll your 2d6. 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not a 7. That means you get to draw a single card from the top of the Early Republic deck, please. That will go into your hand, and then we just need to double check whether it is a forum black text or a faction red text card. Let me know once you've done that. Just a single card from the top of the Early Republic deck. Okay, and is it black text or red text?
It is red text.
Red text. So you keep that secret. You do not need to share that with anybody, and that will stay in your hand. Okay.
Not even. Okay.
Yep. So not even. I know. Probably potentially know your question. Hang on to it for the moment. Okay. So you'll keep that. All right. So if it's red text, you keep it. Black text will go to the forum. So now you get to continue with the rest of your initiative step. So first of all, would you like to conduct a persuasion attempt?
No.
Okay. Would you like to roll for a knight? And if so, from which senator?
Yes, I'll roll for a knight from Cornelius.
Cornelius. Okay, certainly. Would you like to spend any money from his personal treasury to increase the odds?
Yeah, I'll spend it. How much do I have to spend to increase my odds?
So for each talent, you get a 1 extra die number on the roll. So you have to roll a 6 without any money. If you roll, say, spend 1 talent, you're going to roll a 5 or a 6, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 talents.
Okay, very good. If you're going to drag that 5 talent down to your banking zone for me, and I'll give you your change. And you are the Aquila faction. So I've dropped your change in your box, and then I'll take your. That's all right. Take your time. It can be a bit of a shuffle. We'll take a break very shortly, ladies and gents, so you can have a leg stretch, a toilet break, and give yourself a beverage. So hang in there. Okay. I see it now. I'll take it from here. I've got it from here. There you go. Feel free to take your 3 talents back, and when you're ready, go ahead and roll a 1d6, and we'll see if you're lucky. So you're going to roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6. Is that right? 4, 5, or 6, because you spent 2 talents. That's right. 4, 5, or 6. And you've rolled. We're waiting for your roll. Okay.
The money disappeared.
Yes, correct. Oh no. Okay, he's rolled a 5. Good. You will receive a knight. I'll drag that up for you. Save you some woes. Stand by. Go ahead and place that on Cornelius's card. Well done. It's in your play area now. I think it's just next to Flaminus and Furious there. We did a double drag. That's all right. So good. That's 1 extra talent for you. While you're shuffling cards and knight tokens around, can I interest you in moving your faction leader?
No.
And you can't sponsor games at the moment. Very good. Let's move on to the Hand of God faction under Posthumus. Is that correct? You know the deal. Roll your 2d6.
Yes, indeed. Here we go. Do it.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, very good. It's not a 7. Go ahead and draw the single top card from the Early Republic deck, and that will go into your hand, and then we'll identify whether it's red text or black text.
Draw. Let's see. Just black text.
Okay, if it's black text, please drag that to that Center Forum and Proposals sand area.
Oh, wait. Is it?
Well,
it's not. It's not.
It'll be either like a dark red text or it'll be a black text.
I don't know if it's dark red. Can you check?
Yeah, I can. Bear with me a moment. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
I've got to move.
Maybe it is red. I'm just blind.
Yes, it is red text.
Ah,
yes.
okay.
Yep. Okay, so you're gonna keep that card, okay? Yep. And you're not going to tell anybody about that just yet. All right. Let's continue with the rest of your initiative phase. Would you like to conduct a persuasion attempt?
No persuasion for me.
Can't convince anybody. Would you like to roll for a knight?
I would, and you can just take my 5 talents for that, please.
Oh, right, he's going to go the full caboodle, right? Okay, so this is well, you don't need a roll, right? As far as I'm concerned,
Long-term investment.
that is that is a solid investment. He has just outright bought a knight. I'll get that for you now. There you go. Go ahead and drop that on your senator who spent that talent. Very good. While you're doing that, can I interest you in a faction leader change?
No, I'm all right.
Fair enough, and you won't be sponsoring any games. Just above your chest to the right there. I think I've dropped it for you. Can you see it?
Yep. Perfect, thank you.
Okay, and then that brings us a full circle. So we've now conducted 5 initiatives. Now, for those playing along at home, Rule 1.07.22 under initiative talks about that a 6th initiative still needs to occur. All right, and this helps to keep the tempo of the game going. Excuse me. So. I see Skulta on chat has asked, the game looks complicated, and I'm probably it's safe to say that yes it is relatively complicated if you're still watching Skulta. Valley Games has a great habit of producing very size 8 font rules, and you can probably see from my screen here if we zoom in what some of the rules look like. Generally we use a lot of cheat sheets and guides, and these players have been studying meticulously for weeks on end to learn the rules, but it's part of the reason why I'm acting as game master is to help with some of the mechanics and help the players along their journey in this game. But yeah, it is probably on the high end in terms of complexity, Skulta. Yes, Up the Roman Republic from Osayumi. Did I pronounce that correctly? Oyasumi. Yes, Up the Republic. Very good. Okay, we've got a bit of a crowd watching on. Thanks for joining us this evening. Drop a follow if you haven't already, and let's continue on. So we now need to do that 6th initiative, ladies and gentlemen. What that means is you get to bid on it. Okay, so starting with the highest ranking available officer, I'm going to ask them if they wish to place a bid. A minimum bid is 1 talent. At the end of a cycle going around the board, whoever has bid the most amount of talents wins the initiative, and they get to take and do that initiative as if they're doing it again for the first time. So rolling dice, drawing cards, persuasion attempts, faction leader changes, drawing for knights, etc. So you get all those opportunities again a second time if you win the auction that's about to occur. So minimum bid is 1 talent should you wish to play. Ball has to come, all or anything you bid has to come from a single senator for all your bids. So starting with the HRAO.
Does that mean it can't come out of your chest?
Correct. It cannot come out of a chest, must come out of a personal treasury, okay? So here we go, starting with the Optimates. Would you like to bid anything for the 6th initiative?
2, please.
You like to bid 2 talents, so I'm going to draw those from your card into a central area here. 2 talents is on the board, so you need to bet 3 if you wish to play. Let's move around to the Reaper's Party. Anything that you'd like to bet? I don't think you can, judging by your cards.
I can't, because I've only got 2 on the
and I'll see that Indominus can't do that either. We'll move across to Sempronius. Sempronius has an opportunity. Do you wish to bet?
No, I'm good, thanks.
He will pass on, and the Hand of God will also pass on. Therefore, you will win that initiative. I'll take those 2 talents to the bank, and then you get to go ahead and roll that 2d6 for me again.
Great.
All right, and he rolls an 8, which is not a 7. Go ahead and draw that top card from the Early Republic deck, and I'll take a sip of my tea. And if you're watching along at home, take a sip of your preferred beverage. Is it black text or red text?
Yeah. So it's just come up under my thing.
Okay.
That is red text. Definitely red text.
Hang on to that. Don't tell anybody. Okay. Next question to you. Would you like to conduct a persuasion attempt?
I can't. We've still got to wait for next turn to retry Plautius.
Is right, because he can only be persuaded once per turn. Is that the rule, is it?
Yeah.
Very good. See, that was one that had escaped me, and it looks like you've been doing some studying. So, well done to you. Already you're in my good books for reading up on the rules. So, good job for you. Would you like to roll for a knight? Or persuade anybody else for that matter? I should just double check.
So I won't persuade anyone.
Okay.
Let's roll for a knight, and I'll have to take that on pure luck.
Okay, so which senator will be attempting the roll?
Let's load everything on Fulvius.
Okay.
So I'll roll from Fulvius.
All right. You rolled a 6. Well done.
Yeah.
Very good. I'll drag that knight over for you. There you go. And now, that's the wrong knight token. You haven't heard that many. There we go. That's better. Okay, you now have a knight of your very own as well. Congratulations. Now, would you like an opportunity to change your faction leader?
I'm fine with the faction leader.
You're fine. And finally, I guess I don't think you've got the money to sponsor any games at this moment. All right, we've now completed the 6th initiative. So now what we need to do is put Rome in order. And we need to start by making sure that all senators holding a major office receive a major marker. And a pop quiz, who can tell me what a major marker represents?
Consulship?
Nope. Well, it can imply that, but that's not what it's for. Anybody else?
Future office suitability?
Nope. So I'll give you the hint. So Fulvius is going to receive a major marker, and I've just placed that on his card. That means he is eligible for a major prosecution during the next Senate phase. Okay, so this game assumes that every time you hold a major office, you've been corrupt, and therefore you are eligible for a major prosecution during the first Senate phase. Okay, so it's an open field out there. Okay, moving on. With the Second Punic War and gladiator slave revolts in there, we have to check for tax farmer concessions. Thankfully, the Second Punic War is not out, so we don't need to do that check. And now, finally, the highest ranking available officer needs to do some checks for the Curia, and this is where we have the opportunity potentially to eliminate that enemy leader without any qualms or worries. So what we need to do is you need to go ahead and roll a 1d6 there, please, Cornelius, Rome Consul. And if it's a 5 or a 6, he will die of old age and he will have no more influence in the game. So let's see how you go here. You roll a 6. Well done. So that enemy hero, and how do we pronounce his name again?
Antiochus, I think.
What was it?
Antiochus.
All of those. Sounds great. All right, so we're now going to move him to the discard zone. I've actually got 2 discard piles here, but I'm going to put him up there in that stone section to make it nice and obvious. Or actually, it does. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But we know he's dead now. Very happy about that. For those who are playing here, at any time, feel free to look through the discard deck. There is no rules that prohibit you from looking through the discard cards or the discard pile. Now there's one in there. Okay, we've now put Rome in order. Now I'll just double check before we move on. Would you guys like to take a break at this point?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're going to take maybe a 5 to 8 minute break, go up, have a leg stretch, have a drink. For those watching along at home, I'm going to put the taking a break scene on, and we'll come back very shortly. So everyone else watching, don't go away. Here we go. We're coming back live, and your audio is back for everybody else. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging around for those that are watching the stream. We're going to continue on now. We're going to move into the population phase, but I'm going to brief you on the population phase and the Senate phase simultaneously, because the population phase concludes with the rolling of 3d6, and we do a little calculation check to see the unrest level change, see how well or how poorly the current Rome Consul did in addressing the Republic and how well his speech was received. But at that 3d6 roll, it essentially commences the start of the Senate. That initiates the Senate phase. And you just all need to be comfortable in understanding the bounds of the Senate and what your options are, etc. from there. So, first of all, as a pop quiz to Cornelius Calum, who is our current temporary Rome Consul, once we've concluded with the population phase, what will be your first action?
My first action, it'll be to elect some new consuls.
Great, perfect. Okay, and they're always proposed in pairs, and then eventually when that proposal passes, it will be handing over to the new consuls. Now at that point, if we need to, we can actually call another break temporarily, because the 2 new consuls, firstly, have to decide amongst themselves who will be Rome Consul and who will be Field Consul. And then at that point, the Rome Consul then needs to take over as Presiding Magistrate, and then he needs to run the Senate by essentially throwing out his proposals. So you need to all probably be thinking about, particularly if you want those positions, which you should, have a list of proposals in your head that you think are needed to progress and advance the Roman Republic. So if you're looking at the cheat sheet, Under Senate phase, that starts generally with the proposal and the election for censor, but as we know, that's going to be automatic, and so you'll actually hand over at that point to the censor, who can only be one person. But noting there is in number 2 in blue, which is the Pontifex Maximus proposal. If you so desire, if you are the presiding magistrate coming up, you could hold the proposal to elect a Pontifex Maximus, and I'll leave that there for the moment. Once the prosecutions are done under the censor, then it comes back to the Rome Consul as the presiding magistrate, and then it's a case of anything else that you want to do from there. And it could be anything from, as we stated, talk about land bills, censures, gratitudes, reprimands, talk about your standards of dress, how you and confirming the next assembly. There's a couple of things I actually need to make sure that there are done, and if you look in that centre sandpit area, I've listed out some black text there that the new incoming Rome Consul needs to put proposals forwards for in this current Senate phase. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 proposals that the Rome Consul needs to put in there somewhere at some point. Okay, so the only other thing I'll remind you of is that the presiding magistrate is, in fact, the key power in the Senate phase. Only they can put forward proposals unless somebody else puts through a tribune card to put through a proposal of their own. And the presiding magistrate is the only one who can call for votes and then determines the order in which the factions vote as well, which is also a powerful ability to have. You can feel free to argue, discuss, talk about the proposal that a presiding magistrate puts forward. But the moment the presiding magistrate calls for the votes, that's it. If you continue to talk or talk over the presiding magistrate, you have considered to have abstained and you do not get to vote on that proposal. Okay? But really, it's up to the presiding magistrate to hold order in his own Senate. I will generally try not to intervene too much, and as the game advances, you should hear me talking less and less, which for some of you may be a relief. Okay, so let us now continue with the population phase, and we're now going to hand over to our temporary Rome Consul, Fulvius, to give a little bit of a speech, and then we'll have him do his 3d6 roll. So over to you, Fulvius.
Friends, gentlemen, and countrymen, we face grave and uncertain threats from the Illyrian people, and for a second time we must go out and show them who is in charge of this region. Rome leads this region, and Rome must step up to the challenge of defeating these evil barbarians. Please come with me. Let's work together to defeat this evil foe. All right.
Lovely. I see we had no applause. We had no applause from your fellow senators. They were indifferent about your speech. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's roll that 3d6 and let's see just how much the people thought of your speech. Oh boy, so you've rolled what we consider to be an atrocious roll. You've rolled a 5. So what we do is we take the 5, we plus the popularity of Fulvius, and right now I'm pretty sure he has 0 popularity, and we also minus the unrest level. Now the current unrest level is 0, so we're really just dealing with 5. And now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll across, and we're going to have a look at the unrest level adjustments, and that'll be somewhere on the board here. Who can find it before I do? No.
Up the top.
Top right inside.
Yeah.
Top, I think. Yeah, here it is. Under State of the Republic. There it is. That's it. I lost my position. All right, and we're going to see there that under 5 in the modified 3d6 roll is +4 to the unrest level, and there's this little code here that says MS. So this is a truly terrible roll in that we also get a man shortage, which makes things a little bit more difficult to acquire military. So what I'd like the temporary Rome Consul to do now is update the state unrest level, which is up the top in red, from 0 to 4. And we also need to put out, and I'll do this part, is put up the man shortage token, which will be, excuse me, this one here. I'm going to throw that into the center forum so it's obvious. So that means now the cost of raising a legion is now doubled. Okay.
Oof.
So normally it costs 10 talents to raise a legion, unless I'm incorrect there. Now it'll cost you 20 to raise legions and fleet. Same deal. Fleets is also double. So it's expensive.
To take on the Illyrian War, we need to have at least 4. To be
Ideally at least 4 is good, yeah.
And then if we put a commander in there with a good military skill, that adds up.
Yep, correct. That's all good stuff. Absolutely.
Do we need fleets for the Illyrian War?
Yep, so as we discussed, you'll notice the anchor icon of the Second Illyrian War has a number 2 next to it, and that's fleet support, and that means you need to have 2 fleets accompanying that military in order to be able to prosecute that war.
What's the icon underneath the anchor?
That is the fleet icon. So if there was to be a naval battle, you would see a number next to that ship icon. So this is purely land-based, minus the 2 logistical ships there. So it's just a land battle. So fairly simple. Probably a good starting war, perhaps.
And we've got 4 active forces already, but we got no fleet, so we've got to buy them boats, right?
That sounds correct to me. So without further discussion at this point, let's hand back to the temporary Rome consul, and I'll give it. It's now his Senate. So if you'd like to run your Senate, over to you, Cornelius, Calum, and Fulvius.
Okay. So that wasn't a stroke of good luck there. Well, almost a Trumpian speech. So. Let's see. So, does the first thing have to be elect new consuls?
Absolutely.
It's not grant the current Rome consul emergency powers.
No, we're not that hard up yet.
Okay. And is it possible to, for the interests of stability, is it possible to propose someone who's one of those consuls be someone who's already in place?
No. So there, unless a law is passed later on, whoever is currently a consul cannot be elected a consul again this turn. Good question, though.
Got it.
But no, not until we advance further in the Republic.
That's an important one. Well, okay. So I would like to propose 2 consuls. So firstly, I was thinking. We need someone who's strong, who's got some military experience, and who can drive things along. So I was thinking someone like who's got a good, strong military.
All right, thanks.
Does anyone have more than 3?
Yeah, I think Cornelius does.
There we go. In the Reapers, we've got Julius.
And he's got a military of 4.
Sorry about that, Ross.
You're right.
So
you haven't missed much. The current Rome consul is just deciding on his proposal for new consuls.
Yes. So I think Julius from that side of things, and then to make things even, someone who's very loyal but not too influential. Let's go for Terentius on the other side of the board. With the hand of God.
Okay, I'm just writing this down. I'm just keeping some minutes. Terentius, and he's ID 20. Okay.
Okay.
And that's the 2, isn't it?
Yep. So does anyone else want to nominate? Or what happens now?
So you can feel free to discuss that more. You can ask for directed opinions, but ultimately this proposal will advance when you call for votes. So that'll be a formal point. You say, all right, I'm now calling for votes, and then you get to select the order in which the factions votes. Okay?
Can anyone else nominate, or is it just limited to these 2?
So right now, because the proposal is now on the floor, this proposal now has to be heard. But if somebody else wants to put forward a tribune, they can insert their own proposal, but it must be heard after this one.
Okay. I think we should move straight to a vote. That'll be the quickest way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just a quick note here. When the presiding magistrate calls upon you, I'd like a relatively formal response. I'd like you to essentially articulate the name of your party and then articulate how many votes are for or against the motion on the floor. You can also abstain should you desire. and it can be any number of votes. So if you say have 8 votes, you could say I vote 4 votes for and 4 votes abstain, or you could vote 4 votes against as well. It does not matter. You can allocate your votes as you desire, but you need to articulate that clearly. So you can say we, the Reapers Party, are 7 votes for. And then I'll be able to note that down, or whoever is taking the minutes, and we'll make that nice and clear so we can make sure we achieve the majority as we require. Okay. All right. Back over to you, Presiding Magistrate.
Okay. Let's start with the Hand of God.
We at the Hand of God party, we're going to give 5 votes in favour of the proposal.
Great. Reapers Party.
We of the Reapers Party will also give 5 votes in favour of that excellent proposal.
And then do I call the Optimates myself?
Yes, you do. You can call yourself at any time.
I'm glad. So the Optimates votes 8 votes in favour. And then who's left? Civibus de Panem et Circumstans.
I'm going to abbreviate that to Civibus.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Civibus party vote 8 in favour of the proposal.
Great. And then Priscus.
Call me Tarquinius.
Tarquinius, okay.
I will also put in 8 in favour of, and abstains 5.
Okay.
Okay. I'll count that as unanimous.
Sounds pretty good to me. So the proposal passes, and we now have our new consuls. So what we need to do from here is we've got Julius from the Reapers Party, and we have where is he? Over here. It's Terentius from the Hand of God faction. So between Cornelius Dolabella and Posthumus Arwem, you both need to decide amongst yourselves now who is going to be the Rome consul and subsequently the presiding magistrate, and who will be field consul.
Well, I'm assuming that Cornelius at the Reapers Party, he can be the military because he's quite strong, I believe.
Julius.
Yeah, Julius. So if you're happy with that, if you want to be the military, I'll be the Rome consul.
That sounds fair to me.
We're in agreement then?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to issue the tokens. So Terentius will take on the Rome consul token there. And what you need to do now, Terentius, is you now need to add +5 influence to Terentius, which will obviously make 6. So if you want to update your numbers there now, and I'll get the name plaque up for you as well. So you're now the Rome consul. And now for Julius and the Reapers Party, we're now going to pull out the field consul name plaque, which is in your area now. And we also need to give you the field consul token onto Julius. And you need to update the influence on Julius now at initial 5. And I'm going to do that, grab that number for you. 5 and 4 should be 9, and I'll drop that even on your card even. So your influence is now updated. And the field consul name plaque is in your section now as well. Very good. Let's drop that number back and do some housekeeping while we're here. Put that one back there, that one back there, and that one there. Perfect. And if you guys want to go ahead and update your faction influence boxes as well now, and I'll help out Cornelius Dolabella with this one. So we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I'll place your 2
7
with a 7. Drag that back over here. Okay, your faction influence is now updated. Very good.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
And we now have our Roman field consul. So now Terentius and subsequently the Hand of God is now our presiding magistrate. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've got a presiding magistrate name plaque as well. Yeah, here you go. Look at that. Perfect. There's a presiding magistrate name plaque as well.
So I don't want to dob anyone in, but does Fluvius lose the 5 he gained?
He does not. The only office that loses influence upon losing the office is Pontifex Maximus. Everybody else keeps their influence.
Oh.
Yeah. Good question. Well asked. Good question. Well asked.
Oh, so even once these guys lose that office, they'll still have that influence.
Correct. That's right. They'll
Because
keep
there's a certain amount of prestige that goes with having had the office. Is that it?
exactly. You've got it.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over to Posthumus if he perhaps wants to say a few words, and I'll let him continue the Senate session.
Thank you guys for your almost unanimous votes for me, and I think I speak for the field consul as well. Julius, with the Reapers Party, that we appreciate your support. And let's go forward. So can we elect a Pontifex Maximus now? Is that what we can do?
We can indeed.
Can indeed. So I guess I might move to do a Pontifex Maximus. So do I just nominate whoever I wish?
That is correct.
And it has to be a specific senator, I'm guessing?
It does.
Okay. Let me have a quick look, and I will decide.
While he's deciding, folks, if you think you have the candidate, by all means, speak up.
Yeah, I'll be persuaded if I hear some arguments.
Like I said, I've never heard a Senate so quiet.
Alias of the
I'm trying to remember what the
Optimates.
Pontifex does.
Alias, yep.
Just a quick
very
summary.
spiritual.
Yes, that's correct. He is a religious leader, a spiritual leader, and it has a couple of goodies attached to it. So the first one, he gets a little bit of extra money for the good work that he does. He also gets extra votes associated with sending legions away for war, etc. They're called war votes, essentially. You also get the ability to assign priests as well. You can assign priests to anyone but the Pontifex Maximus, and they get an additional +1 war vote, and I think influence as well. We'll have to double check. This is all in the advanced rules section, so when it comes time, we may need to flick through there and have a quick look. And they also, I believe, get a veto once per turn as well. And I don't know whether it's a broad veto or it could be vetoes just in wars. We can double check that. Let's actually do that right now. Advanced rules. I'm going to scroll across here. Pontifex Maximus. He'll get his standard influence. He gets the battle influence. Veto. Once each Senate phase, during or prior to his faction's turn to vote, the Pontifex Maximus may cast a veto without the use of a tribune. There you go. Right, so is there a downside to being Pontifex Maximus? Maybe. If an event is drawn, which is an evil omen, you are facing the full brunt and responsibility of that, and the consequences are quite harsh. But nonetheless, still a lucrative post otherwise. So anyway, sorry, that was just to interject a little bit there from the annals. So back over to you, Presiding Magistrate.
That's right. So I think I heard one name that stuck out, so I think I'll nominate Aurelius of the Optimates party to be the Pontifex Maximus. So I guess we'll move to vote on that, if that's correct.
Sorry, who's the current Presiding Magistrate? I'm just putting this in the minutes. That's Terentius.
Yes, Terentius, yep.
Terentius, very good. And which party was Aurelius from?
Optimates.
The Optimates. Very good. All right, carry on.
Oh, a bit of tit for tat going on there.
Of course.
It's just a standout spiritual guide, that's all.
So how do you whisper to each other?
/W space the name of the player, and it should start to auto-complete once you start typing letters in, and then space your message.
Mark, because your name starts with an apostrophe, it doesn't work sending you a whisper.
Oh, okay. You might.
I thought you could.
Give it a go. Let me have a look while I'm also. If I start typing Mark, it comes up. So don't use the apostrophe. Just start typing Mark and it comes up. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
So I see Posthumus failed in his whisper. It's /W, is it not?
Yeah, did I not do /W?
No, you did W/.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I was wondering why.
I wondered why I was seeing that. It was a whisper.
Yeah, it's
mind games.
Yeah, like in software coding, you do the / first. At least there's nothing overly sensitive in that one. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's see if he.
Whoops.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, okay. Someone's pulling a leg
Sorry,
now.
there's two Marcuses, so I don't know who we're talking about here.
Yeah, very good. All right, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's good.
So yeah, if we're good to vote on that, if that's what we're up to.
That's up to you, Presiding Magistrate.
Yeah, well, I would love to vote on that. So I guess I'll start calling the parties. I guess I'll start in the top left. So Tarquinius, Priscus Tarquinius, how would you like to vote?
I'm sorry. Yes, I will vote in favour.
Okay.
How many votes?
7, 6 in absent, 6 in holding back.
Yep. No worries.
So how many was that? How many votes for?
7.
7 votes for.
So I guess I'll move down. So Reaper's Party, Cornelius, how would you like to vote?
Well, I only have a total of 5 votes, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah. What the heck, all 5 votes, yeah.
No worries. Positive sign. Nobody down the bottom here. So I guess I'll go across to Optimates. How would you like to vote?
I think I quite like the idea. Sounds quite good. So I'll put all 5 of my votes in. Thank you.
You got 8, I believe. Don't you?
Oh, do I? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
4, 5. Yes, you do have 8. Yes.
8. So up to the hand of God, I will contribute all 5 votes to yes as well. And last, Civibus, how would you like to vote?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. So that's almost unanimous again.
Look at this very compliant Senate.
We're all good friends at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, it carries. Very good. All right, so let's go ahead.
At this early stage of the game, it's good that we're all cooperating.
Everybody's just testing the waters, right? Okay, so alias ID number 14 is now going to become the Pontifex Maximus. The ID name plaque we will drag to the Optimate section, and we will drag over the Pontifex Maximus logo card there. Go ahead and add +5 influence, please, to alias's influence total for a total of 7.
Great.
So grab yourself a number 7 number, I guess. And the gods now favour you. Well, very good. Who was a famous Roman during the Roman Republic who held the office of Pontifex Maximus?
Julius Caesar.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. And how did he wield that office in order to maintain his power, if you will, during his time in consulship? Who was he? Well, I guess who was that against? And then what exactly was he doing?
I can't remember. It was against the Optimates, I think.
He was fighting a lot of wars too.
He was. So who was the co-consul with Julius Caesar?
Brutus.
Nope. He's often forgotten in history.
At what point?
His first time in as consul.
Gaius. Something. Crassus.
Crassus, because Crassus went off to Parthia.
I don't remember.
How many times was Julius Caesar consul?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was the one who broke the rules, wasn't he?
And
Pompey.
And at what point was Biblius the co-consul of Julius Caesar?
Biblius. I don't remember
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. It's name not often remembered, but essentially Biblius tried to block a lot of the Senate sessions called to order by Julius Caesar by declaring that they were religious days, but as Pontifex Maximus, Julius Caesar simply overrode him and said, no, we're going to continue on anyway. Very fascinating. Anyway, so we've now assigned a Pontifex Maximus. Very good. That concludes that particular proposal. All right, so let's see how much the presiding magistrate is paying attention. Back over to you.
So what can I move to do now?
What does your cheat sheet say?
Let me have a quick look. So dictator, I'm assuming we skip that.
Correct.
We got one war. So censor. Okay.
Very good.
Well, there's only one person with the prior console, which is Fulvius. So I guess you are now the censor. We don't vote on it, do we?
Essentially, it's a moot point because there is only the one candidate, so it's essentially referred to as automatic. So I'm now going to drag over the appropriate tokens. Fulvius will now get the censor token. Go ahead and add +5 influence to Fulvius's card, please. There, Cornelius Calum.
He's going to be very influential.
I regret giving him so much influence.
And at this point, if Posthumus, if you'd like to hand over the presiding magistrate name plaque into the zone of the Optimates, the censor is now going to assume control of the Senate for this next phase.
I can't move the presiding magistrate.
Well, that's an error on my part. Let's update that. Now you can.
No worries. Here you are, Optimates.
Thank you. All right. So there's a worry that people have been guilty of corruption and trying to keep money for themselves, which, as a faction, that is precisely the behavior that we believe in. So, as Optimates, as the leader of the people who believe people should be enhancing the wealth of Rome and therefore themselves, I will not be carrying out any prosecutions.
Wow, nice call. Okay. In that case, then, the censor has been kind. So, censor, if you could kindly pass the presiding magistrate plaque back to the Rome consul, please, and we'll be able to continue.
Actually, where's it going?
To me.
Sorry, I'm trying to follow on the cheat sheet here. What section are we up to?
You're looking at the censor section, so I think that's 4 or something, I believe, and 5. So
we finished that, haven't we?
Yeah, so it was very quick. So the censor, upon being elected, and there was only one, one person available, so it was automatic. The censor decided that there would be no prosecutions. Which is perhaps not unheard of in the first Senate phase, but would be an amazing announcement for any future phases. So very quickly, we've moved past that. So now it goes back to the Rome consul, who is now the presiding magistrate again, to run the rest of his Senate.
All right, so we can't do governors, am I correct?
Right, because you don't have any other provinces to govern.
Yep. All right, so...
Don't forget the other 4 proposals in that Senate area that you also need to consider as well.
Let me have a look.
Sorry, can I just jump in quickly? Because what's the cheat sheet? I mean, are we looking at the stuff on the right-hand side of the play area? Is that where we're looking at?
So if you haven't got it printed out in front of you, I'm going to move everybody's view. Stand by. It's the far bottom right-hand corner of the virtual tabletop. Hopefully everybody's view's now been updated. That big sheet there is your cheat sheet, and we're now looking on the right-hand column under Senate phase, now at point 6 and below, which is the remaining optional proposals that the presiding magistrate can put forwards. So this is all I'm following. This is all I'm using as a prompter as we step through.
Much easier if you print it out and just have a...
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I raise army forces?
Oh, you could put a proposal through to suggest it, yeah.
Yes, all right. So I think I might do that, considering we have this active war at the moment. So, let me see.
May I suggest that since we need fleets to do the war, we buy a couple of fleets?
Yes, indeed. That's what my thought was. So how much does a fleet cost?
So they're now double what they normally are because of the manpower shortage.
Why do we have a manpower shortage?
Because whoever gave this, somebody gave a terrible speech.
All right. So how much do they cost? I guess.
Who can tell him?
Anyone?
It's now double.
Not as much as it used to be.
Okay, so let's use this as a test. Okay, so
I think it's going to 40.
It's 40.
So let's double check. Let's go have a look at the appropriate section in the Senate phase of the rule book. All right, and let's all do this as an exercise now, and let's double check. about what it costs to raise a standard unit, be it a legion or a fleet, and then considering what it costs with the manpower shortage.
So where are we looking for this?
That's your challenge. You need to look that in the rules now. So if you're going to scroll to the right-hand side of the virtual tabletop, it's likely to be under the Senate phase as a potential proposal. So you'll want to go to, is it 1.06? Is that the Senate phase? Who can... no, 1.09. Yep, that's right. And somewhere there will be a subheading about raising...
Recruitment and disbandment of legions and fleets is 10 talents for each recruited unit.
There you go. Well found, well quick, well done. And so therefore, with the manpower shortage, it becomes 20 talents per unit.
Well, I said 40 because I can make it happen quicker for you, but you have to pay me the extra 20.
Maybe, I'll think about it. So we only need... How many boats do we need? Just 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
A minimum.
Minimum.
Is there... does a boat carry a certain number of troops?
No, it's there's no association between troop carrying and fleets. So really the number you just need to follow is how many you need for your fleet support and how many you need for a naval battle.
Okay, so in this case we only need 2 because there's no naval battle.
Now, so we don't... Okay, so I guess we'll just raise maybe 3, just to have 1 in advance. So I guess...
Do we really want to get an extra one when they're so expensive?
Well,
because then you have to pay upkeep afterwards.
Don't you lose them in a battle?
Plus, it's double.
We're not going to have a naval battle.
Moment.
Okay. Yeah, well, only
It's
2.
just transport.
Okay. So I guess I will...
Point of order. So fleets that are occupying or accompanying a force's fleet support are still susceptible to losses should they occur.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
But we don't need to buy more now because it's doubled price. So next phase might be cheaper.
Okay. Well, I guess we can just leave it then. In that case, I mean, may as well. There's no real rush. What else to do? I don't know. What else do I have to do? I'm not sure. Can I solve this manpower issue?
Not as a Senate proposal, no.
Okay. I'm not sure. I don't really have any proposals, so...
So I'll remind you about the 4 proposals that are required written in the black text in the Senate sandpit.
Let me have a look. So I'm assuming we're not voting to start a new game.
So what's implied by this is, let's say you guys do really horribly within X amount of rounds, that you all agree to essentially restart the game from scratch.
Yep.
So essentially the proposal you put forwards is, A, if you do all lose, that you will in fact start again, and B, after what round will that occur? What is the drop dead date for that?
Okay. So... just give me 1 second to have a quick read of this.
Look, I'd like to propose that we do battle today.
Yep.
At this time, because simply we may draw 1 or 2 more wars coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So getting this one out of the way, and this one's cheap. This one's easy to win, and it gives us 10 gold back.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will propose then, based on this wonderful suggestion, that we raise 2 fleets. So for the cost of 40 talents to the Treasury. So as Marcus said, this is to fight the war this turn, hopefully. So under these conditions, if we would like to vote, I'll start with Tarquinius. How would you like to vote?
I'm 13 votes in favour.
13 votes in favour. Perfect.
That's a lot of votes.
That's a nice chunk. Right, so Reaper's Party. How would you like to vote on this?
5 votes in favour.
5 votes in favour. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
8 votes in favour.
8 votes in favour.
What do we need to... What's the target that we're aiming for?
Well, I'm pretty sure we've got it now, right?
Yeah,
Rest-
you go through the motion of allowing everybody to vote, but yeah, you just
Sure,
need to
sure.
achieve that simple 51% majority.
Yep, so we at the Hand of God will vote in favour, 5 votes. And Civibus, how would you like to vote?
Civibus, 8 in favour.
8 in favour, so that's perfect.
Just as another point of order, the reason why we still go through everyone, even though we may have hit the majority, is because somebody might still decide to play a veto tribute.
All right, so under that condition, I guess we will raise 2 fleets.
Very good. You can have the honours there, Rome Consul. By all means, drag any 2 of the fleets. Now, you've picked up a planning fleet. You actually want the actual fleets above you, the blue. Yep. Whatever 2 ones you want to raise, drag them to the active forces box.
Yes, 2.
It can be any number. It doesn't have to be in order.
Number 1 and number 2, because I'm orderly.
Yep, fair call. And then if you want to manage, you can either do it yourself or appoint someone now to update the State Treasury and minus the appropriate 40 talents from the State Treasury.
Well, before we do that, are we able to vote on a Questa to manage the Treasury?
Yep, but let's update the State Treasury first because that's important.
First, okay.
Yep.
So
always, if there's things to do with money, let's always do those first.
40. All right, so...
I'm bringing a 5 up.
Thank you. If you could put that there, I'll take the 9 off.
Yeah.
All right, so if that's been updated... a second.
It's on the way. Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just wait until the 5's there.
Question. If we send a general a senator with military experience along for the battle, do they lose anything they have associated with them at the moment?
As in, like, influence and popularity? Is that what you're referring to?
No, say you have one of those cards associated with them.
No, they will remain with that senator. So concessions, yeah.
It's concessions, okay.
Yeah, they'll stay with that senator.
So I will nominate one of my guys to accompany Manlius. He's got a military skill of 3.
We can do that now.
As a point of order, that's not possible.
Okay.
Yep. So the only people eligible to go away to war are the field and Rome Consul in that order.
Okay. Well, I think before we do that, I would also like to vote on electing a Quaestor to manage the Treasury, if that sounds all right with everyone. So I think to do this, I will nominate one of the Tarquinius senators. So I guess, Marcus, if you want to provide a suitable name for nomination, I will probably go with that.
Okay, Aurelius.
Aurelius? Okay, so I move to have Aurelius of the Priscus Tarquinius Pro Praetori Party be the Quaestor in order to manage our funding for the Treasury. So, as such, I will call for voting. So, Tarquinius, how would you like to vote?
13 votes in favour.
Favour? No worries. Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote on this matter?
5 votes in favour.
5 votes in favour. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
Will abstain.
Abstain? No worries. Hand of God, we will give 5 votes in favour of. And lastly, Civibus, how would you like to vote?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. All right. So, as such, who was it? Aurelius of the Tarquinius Party will now be Quaestor to manage the Treasury funds. So it's on the board. So I'm not 100% sure what that means. So maybe Warwick,
it's just an informal position, which essentially means that now Indominus will now be the person who manages the numbers for the State Treasury and do all those sums accordingly.
All right. Well,
so
there we go.
For no reward.
for no reward. There we go. I've just updated the sheet there, so we've moved that one.
Well, I will thank you as such, so I don't have to do it myself. All right. So I think that's so. Now, do I have to move to send one of our generals to fight this war?
You can, noting there's still 3 other proposals in that centerpiece that you still need to action.
All right, so okay. Well, let's start. So, does anyone want to vote on a new game, or can we just skip this since this is the first round?
So you need to form that as a proposal.
Okay. So I propose we don't start a new game. So as such, I guess we will vote on that. So I'll start again.
As a point of order, that's fine as a proposal, but noting if you all die next round, that's it, based on this proposal. And that could be what you all want. But if you think that if you die after 2 rounds, that was a bit short, you may want to decide that in fact, let's wait, let's make sure that we get to 7 rounds, and then if we die after that, then that's fine, that's game over. But yeah, I just wanted to note that. That's all.
So I can leave this for now. I don't have to vote on this.
Well, noting that you could die next round, it'd be nice to know.
All right. Well, I guess.
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Like.
So remember, all players can lose the game should a couple of conditions be met, be it you go bankrupt, unrest levels too high and the citizens overthrow you, or you get 4 or more active wars at once. And that could happen as soon as next round. And that means the game's over, and then that's it after 2 weeks, 2 sessions. What this proposal, the intent of this proposal is that if that does in fact occur before a set number of rounds, you all agree that let's start again and let's see if we can get further.
Okay, so if I say, so if I vote on, let's say, if we lose before 3 rounds, we restart. That's a suitable proposal. Logically, I can propose that.
Yep, that's good to me.
Okay, well, I guess I've voted that. So this being round 1, so I guess if we lose in the next 2 rounds, we will restart. So as such, I guess we can vote if that sounds agreeable, or whether you just want to go hard and see if we die. So
and remember, before he calls for votes, if you disagree, either speak up or vote against the proposal. All right, and that goes for any proposal, right?
Yeah, perfect. So if you don't want this, then speak against.
If you want it to be 4 rounds, if you want it to be 7, whatever.
Okay, so Tarquinius, how would you like to vote on this?
So this is our first round, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, I'd vote for 3. I would like to counter-propose that we start again if we die within the first 4 rounds.
So you can't counter-propose at this point. You can either vote for or against the current proposal on the floor. Okay, so if you have a different opinion, perhaps you may want to vote against.
13 votes against.
Okay, 13 votes against. All right, Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote on this?
I think I'll vote 5 votes against it as well.
5 votes against it. No worries. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
I'll abstain again.
Abstain, no worries. Hand of God, I'll abstain as well.
Well, you've been found wanting. Let's.
Yes. And Civibus, how would you like to vote?
Abstain.
Abstain. All right. So the motion fails.
Now, just a point of order, this is not counted as a unanimous defeat of proposal because there were people that abstained. If every faction, in fact, voted against, then the presiding magistrate either has to choose to lose influence or step down as PM, but that did not occur in this case, so he is, in fact, safe because people did abstain, right?
Thank you for abstaining.
Yeah, but therefore the motion is defeated.
All right. Well, I guess to counter this as well, I'll go with Marcus's counter proposal. So if we lose the game in the first 4 rounds, we will restart. So this being the new proposal, Tarquinius, how would you like to vote?
13 votes in favour.
13 in favour, no worries. Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote?
5 in favour.
5 in favour. Up to Marty's?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. Hand of God, we will vote 5 in favour as well. And Civibus?
3 in favour, 5 abstain.
Okay, so that passes then. So
nice mixed votes. I love it. Love it. Very good.
All right. So under those conditions, if we lose in the first 4 rounds, this being the first, we will restart.
Good. That's another one. Bites of dust. Well done. All right. 2 more proposals that need to be done still on the floor there.
Okay. So elect a Senate Scriba. Where's this template?
Right, so for those that you should have it hopefully in your email, but you may not. I may not have sent that to you yet. For everyone else, it's in the files section. You don't have to necessarily write on that template because this will be uploaded into the document on the Facebook group. Okay, as a bit of a rundown, the idea here is the Senate Scriba is keeping minutes of the Senate phase, and it's just the Senate phase. So you're recording what the proposal is, who proposed it, and then the votes for or against, and whether the motion was carried. And then the Senate Scriba is required to update the document on the Facebook group at the end of each session before the next session a week later. And I can assist if there's problems, but this is the role of the Senate Scriba, is to keep minutes of the proposals in the Senate phase. So I'm doing it right now, so there's no holes, but you will need to assign one amongst yourselves to do this role.
So can't be the consul.
Preferably not. I mean, this is not in the rules, right? So that was just a particular caveat I levied, because usually the Rome consul, aka the PM, presiding magistrate, is busy actually making proposals. So it's ideally best if it's not the player who's making the proposals.
Oh, so it could. Does it have to be a certain senator, or it can be just a?
By vote is a particular senator, but ultimately becomes the controlling faction player.
Okay. Would anyone like to volunteer? I guess. Otherwise, I will pick someone at random. I guess. No volunteers.
I'm happy to do a bit of minuting.
Okay. Well, I guess under that condition then. So I move to have Cornelius become the Senate Scriba to do our minutes. So as such, we will vote on that. Tarquinius, how would you like to vote?
Yep, 13 in favour.
13 in favour. Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote?
5 in favour.
5 in favour. Optimates?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. Hand of God, we will do 5 in favour as well. And Civibus?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. All right. So motion passes. So Cornelius will now be the Scriba.
Very good. Now, do you have either the template or a Word doc or something open in front of you now?
I've got an Evernote note.
That'll do. So just to reiterate the things you need to record. So for each proposal, you need to write a quick summary of what the proposal is, and some sort of shorthand is fine. Who it's proposed by, and it generally should always be the presiding magistrate, but just write down that senator's name and preferably their ID number as well. And then write down, I guess, how many votes for, how many votes against, ideally, preferably how many votes abstain, and then whether the motion was carried or not. And you do that for each proposal in the Senate phase. And then we can talk about this more later, but you'll see that document in the file section. You'll see the template that you have to follow, and you've just got to upload that information in the document. So as we progress through the game, you'll see a full history of each Senate phase and all the proposals that went down. Okay? All right, and if things get busy or terrible, I will assist. All right, but in the first instance, that will be whoever is the Senate Scriba. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, back to the presiding magistrate. Thank you.
All right. So I've got one more proposal here. Just let me read it. All right. So the last one here. I guess is to vote on dress standards. So if everyone wants to wear togas or not. So as such, I guess I will vote for the affirmative of this.
Hang on. You need to articulate a proposal first, okay?
Yep.
And make it clear what exactly that proposal is. And as a point of order, you'll notice that I'm wearing my toga virilis right now, which is the standard, off-white toga of all citizens. But I make no rules, and this will be a part of your proposal as to what colour it is. In previous games, I've seen brown togas, red togas, black togas, togas praetextra.
What you're saying, we seriously have to get a toga?
Well, only if a proposal is A, put forwards, and B, it passes. So the presiding magistrate in this instance may put forward and go, you know what, I propose that there is no dress standard. And if everyone votes in favour, then that will be the case. But this is up to the presiding magistrate to define now as a proposal and put that forwards for vote.
So I think I'll start with so I propose that we have no dress standards. So nobody is required to wear anything. Sorry.
Point of order.
Asterisk. Anything specific. Hopefully they're wearing
Thank
clothes.
Thank you. Because otherwise that breaches the Twitch terms of service. So that would be bad.
At least make pants compulsory, okay?
Right. Well, you can't see the pants on the camera, so maybe shirts. Okay. So as I said, I propose that we have no formal requirements in our dress standards, bar clothing. So, Tarquinius, how would you like to vote on this?
10 in favour, 3 abstain.
Okay, 10 in favour, 3 abstain. Reaper's Party, what about you?
5 in favour.
5 in favour. So Optimates, how would you like to vote?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. Hand of God, we will abstain. 5 votes. And Civibus, how would you like to vote?
8 abstain.
8 abstain. So I believe it passes. So there is no formal dress requirements for next week, except for wearing clothing of some form.
Very good. And look, and part of the reason why I put those other 4 proposals for the presiding magistrate put through is it just gives you a bit of a flavour of the type of things that you can propose as presiding magistrate, okay? And particularly because we're in a virtual environment, it gives you some even more ability. So if as presiding magistrate you don't like the layout of something in this virtual environment, provided that something, in fact, I can actually update, you could all vote to change something in the way of the layout, for example, or increase the size of a token, or so there's a whole bunch of things not necessarily directly impact on the game that you can also vote on should you desire. That's completely up to the presiding magistrate. Thank you. That's all the points I had on that, and back to your Senate.
All right. So just give me a quick second to have a look at this cheat sheet.
Yeah, that's right. Take your time. Think about your proposals. Think about what's in the forum and wars, etc. In the future, we will probably actually take breaks before we hit that population phase or as the consuls are elected, so you can actually have some thinking time. Having 5 minutes to collect your thoughts and form your proposals for the coming year can be helpful. So we'll do that in the future upon electing new consuls, as we'll take some breaks at that point.
Okay, so can I organise going to war now?
Well, you tell me. What's your proposal?
Quick question on the point of order. So I can propose going to war, and then I do the proposals on the leaders, or it has to be kind of all in one?
Column A, column B, column C. You could propose, for example, to raise forces. Then you could propose a general, and then you could assign the forces to him for a particular war. Or you could throw it as one big proposal. You could say, this general, we're going to raise these fleets and these legions and send it to this war. You could do it all as one. It's up to you how you form the proposals. Sometimes doing it one way is more advantageous than the other. But right, it's up to you.
Okay. So I guess we would like to fight this war to get it out of the way. So I guess I'd just like to hear some opinions. Should we raise some extra soldiers to fight this? So we got 4, which is equal to the combat strength of the war. But I don't know if we need extra, because does it help with dice modifiers, doesn't it? Having extra troops.
The more strength the Senate sends, that's obviously only going to increase your odds, right?
So I guess I just want to hear people's opinions. So you think we should raise some more soldiers?
In the military, there's no such thing as being too strong. You can't send too strong a force.
Well, we do have to remember we've only got 150 in the Treasury, and it costs double to raise soldiers.
Of course, with budgetary constraints. But I mean, sure, if we can afford to stick a couple more legions in there, let's do it.
Okay, so
I agree with that.
So yep.
Yeah,
okay. So
I think so.
okay. So is Mark there? Or is he loading?
I think he's there, but he's having issues with his camera focus. But he can probably hear you potentially.
Okay. I guess if he can hear us, he could just write in chat. when we come to it.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so I guess under that suggestion, I propose that we will raise 2 extra land units to fight this upcoming war. As such, that will cost the state treasury 40 talents. So,
How much will that leave us in the treasury then?
that will leave us with 112. And we gain, it's 100 a year, isn't it? That we gain, I believe. So,
yes, minus wars.
Okay. So, as such, I guess I'll leave Mark until the end, just in case he reconnects, because he can hear us. But I'll start with you, Reaper's Party. How would you like to vote on raising the extra soldiers at the cost of 40 talents?
I'll vote 5 in favour.
5 in favour. No worries. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
I'll vote 5 in favour, 8 in favour as well.
8 in favour. We at the Hand of God will vote 5 in favour as well. And Civibus, how would you like to vote?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. And Mark, I don't know if you can speak. If you would like to vote in favour, I guess just write it in the chat. How many votes you would like in favour, abstain, or against, if you're there. Otherwise, I guess we'll just give them a minute.
Yeah, sure. We'll just have a sit for just a moment.
So,
While we're waiting, how did you change your avatar?
You'll do that outside of the virtual tabletop in your Roll20 account settings. You'll be able to upload your own avatar.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. So, how would you like to vote, Tarquinius? Did you hear the proposal?
No, I'm sorry, I missed that.
That's
Much
right.
better lighting.
So we just were voting on raising 2 extra units to fight this war at a cost of 40 talents. So as such, we've so far had, I believe, everyone vote in favour, which was 13.
You can ask your Senate Scriba, who can give you a readback.
Yes. Do you have the votes there? How many we've got in favour? I believe it was...
So we've got 5, 10, 26 in favour so far.
26 in favour. So how would you like to vote, Tarquinius, on this?
Well, I abstain because now that I'm in charge of the treasury, I don't like it going so low.
Okay, no worries. All right, as such, the based on the current votes, the proposal passes. So we will raise 2 extra units. So, Marcus, if you wouldn't mind upgrading the treasury to 112, perfect. And I'll move the 2 soldiers across. All right, so for the next proposal, I guess I will vote on Julius, who is
I don't see the other legion raised yet. I've only seen one come across. There.
there we
go. It's a bit slow. There's some lag. Okay, we're good now. Yep.
1 second. So we have Julius from the Reaper's Party, who is the field consul. As such, I would propose that we send Julius to war with our legions and our ships to fight the war. So, I'll hear votes.
Wait, are we going to be specific and say all the legions, so 6 legions and 2 fleets?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, so
Good point.
Yep. Okay, so I propose we send Julius as the field consul with 6 land units and 2 fleets to go and fight the Illyrian War, Second Illyrian War. So, Tarquinius, how would you like to vote?
10 in favour, 3 abstain.
And in favour, 3 abstain. Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote?
5 in favour.
5 in favour. Optimates?
5 in favour.
5 in favour. We at the Hand of God will vote 5 in favour as well. And Civibus?
8 in favour.
8 in favour. All right. So proposal passes, and we will send military forces and a field consul to fight the war.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll do this moving just to keep it clean. So we're going to drag the field consul over to the war card now, and I'm just going to drop that war card backwards. And that should need to go backwards as well, and that one goes backwards so we don't lose all his tokens. There we go. We need to drag the 6 legions down that he's being accompanied with. We're going to bring them to the front.
What about his field console thing?
It's there. Probably just hasn't updated for you yet, so stand by.
Oh, okay.
And drag the fleets down that you've decided to accompany. Okay, so pending loading times for everybody, it'll look quite busy in the active wars area, but you should see Julius has moved with his legions and the fleets as the consul assigned to the Illyrian War card now in the centre. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Very good. Okay.
A lot there.
There is a lot happening, and we'll work out a way to make that a little bit cleaner in the future, because no doubt that will become a very busy space. We can obviously utilise some of the other free space around it in the future, but when it gets a bit weird and complex like that, I'm happy to jump in and move stuff around. Okay, back to the Presiding Magistrate.
So, do I have to organise fighting this war now?
No, you've already done that with that last proposal.
Okay, well...
Need to roll some dice, don't we?
No, you're still in the Senate session right now.
Well, can I just pass? I don't really have anything else. I think I'd be happy to move to fight the war. Do I have to make a proposal that we finish the Senate phase? Or?
No, it's not a proposal. It's a commander and a directive.
Okay, the Senate is now ended.
All right, the Senate phase has now concluded in a rather abrupt fashion. But that's okay. I'd like to give a round of applause to Posthumus for running the first Senate there. It's a tough job. So well done to you, Posthumus. Claps around. It is quite tough.
If there's a tribune,
yes.
When do they actually throw their when do they actually put their proposals forward?
So if you're looking to play a tribune for the means of putting forward a proposal yourself, that can happen at any time, including inside of a vote of an existing proposal. All that means is the current proposal has to conclude, and then that proposal will be heard. But and that's why defining the boundaries of the Senate is important. So now that the Senate has been closed, you can't play those tribune cards.
No, that's fine.
Can I open it back up just because?
Nope.
We know that?
You've closed it now.
Okay. It's closed.
Yeah, it's closed. And right, so that's why it's very important to understand what your options are within those bounds. So the moment that 3d6 is rolled in the population phase, that's it. The Senate phase has started, and the moment the presiding magistrate closes the Senate, that's it. That's the end of the Senate.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So we are. I'm now going to take back the helm a little bit here, and we're going to step us through the combat phase and fighting the wars. Okay. So let's go ahead.
I haven't got anything in the active forces area.
They've all moved to the war. They've all been sent off. So if you scroll down the centre just a little bit underneath the sandpit, you'll see that the Second Illyrian War now has...
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Okay.
There, you found him. There we go. So we're now going to prosecute this war here and see how we go. So first of all, let's calculate and let's make sure we meet the minimum requirements. So yes, we do indeed have the 2 accompanying support fleets to prosecute this war. Tick. The next point from here is we now need to calculate the total strength the total strength of the senatorial army. Let's go ahead and calculate that. So we have a force strength of 6 with the 6 legions, plus the military strength of 4 from Julius, and if my maths is correct, that should give us a total strength of 10.
Yep.
And we know that the strength of the Second Illyrian War card is 4. Okay, and we need to form a base number now, and then we'll eventually refer to the combat results table. So I'm zooming in here on the combat results table now myself. Here we go. So we calculate the strength difference. In this case, the strength difference is +6. This can actually be a minus number depending on the forces that the Senate has sent, but having a positive strength difference is a great start, and we will add a 2d6 roll on top of this to give us a total number. And as you can read there, the higher the number, the better the outcome.
So since he's my senator, do I get to roll?
Absolutely, because you are the commander of this force, you will be doing that 2d6 roll. Now, here's some other tips for you before you roll that die. I'm loving the Latin graffiti too in the forum, by the way. I think that's fantastic. One of the things you want to do is not roll a 5 and not roll a 17. Okay. Now that begs the question then. So you can't roll a 17 off a 2d6 because you can only get a maximum of 12. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go check the combat phase and work out and double check what that roll is, because this board could be wrong. And I do know there has been updates to the board before. So let's see, again, as a test, let's go to the appropriate section in the rulebook. Whether you have the physical copy or whether you're looking on the virtual tabletop, go to section 1.10, combat phase, and let's confirm what the commander needs to roll to work out and calculate the battle results.
3d6.
Right, and as I suspected. And where are you reading that there, Cornelius Dolabella?
Combat phase 110, fighting wars. 3d6 for every war on the combat result table.
Sorry, what was the rule reference? 110 what?
110, and then it's got directly underneath that fighting wars.
1.10.
Yeah.
It's in the cheat sheets, right?
And it should probably also be in the cheat sheet as well. And what does the cheat sheet say?
No, that's what he's saying. 110 in the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. I was referring to the rules here.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. But right, we see that in fact it actually is a 3d6, which is even better because that makes the odds even better for us, right? So we know that the equation on the board there is incorrect, and then that's why we like to check. Okay. And then, of course, we know that depending on the outcome, we may lose legions and fleets, and potentially there could be death chit draws to check for commander death or capture as well. But all pending, things should go okay. So at this point in time, Cornelius Dolabella, as the curator of your faction and subsequently Julius, please go ahead and roll 3d6, and everybody wait with bated breath to see what the outcome might be.
Okay, 3d6.
3d6, and we'll add a +6 to that result.
Grey Pontifex.
So we've got an
Where'd
8.
the other one go?
We've got 8. I can see them all there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is our total on the combat results table. And who wants to tell me what that result is?
Victory.
The victory,
But
we lose 4 legions and 4 fleets.
It's truth.
that's pretty spicy, isn't it? So that's good news that we achieved that victory. But perhaps
It's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory, isn't it? We won, but we lost our entire force.
Hey, you're the commander. This is your fault. You rolled the dice as well.
Right. So
Okay, so far we've had 2 shit rolls this game.
right. So what we're going to see now is I'm going to randomly destroy 4 of your legions now, and you're going to lose both of your fleets as well.
Well, we've still got 2 legions left.
I'm going to return the fleets to the pool, return those legions to the pool as such, and what we've also seen in this battle, give those back, they're going to stay there for the moment, is the 3rd Legion in this particular case achieved veteran status. Hang on, what happened to the other Legion? Where'd that go? Who stole it? There it is, it's behind the card. There we go.
How come that happened?
So one legion randomly achieves veteran status in each victory.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep. So who stole the number 3 legion there?
It's here.
It's there.
Obviously, I've got a loading issue. I can't pick it up right now, so I have to leave it there for the moment.
I can't pick it up later.
Yeah, I can't pick it up. It's just where it says Illyrian, just above Illyrian.
Actually, I wonder if no.
Just moved.
It was sent to the wrong layer. There we go. It's back there now. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to send the 3rd because that one's been upgraded. Very good. And we can put that back there. Okay, good. All right. All right, next from here, the Quaestor can up the state treasury by 10 talents.
Hey.
So, excuse me, so those legions, they're still in the active war area?
For the moment, yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep. And there's a reason for that, which we will allude to shortly.
Okay.
And that Second Illyrian War can go to the discard zone. It has been defeated. Who else tell me what else occurs upon a victory.
We gain a region, don't we?
Let's hear from Indominus. Tell me what do you got?
We gain a region.
Not yet. So you need to defeat both Illyrian wars in this case to create a province. Right. So you've only done one. What else occurs upon a victory of a war?
Julius gets a parade.
In a sense of speaking, but not mechanically in this game. What else? I'll give you a hint. It's something.
Doesn't he get some
Would he get some influence or something?
Yeah. All right. Tell me about that.
Isn't there a chance he might die?
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's another point. Good point. But let's talk about perks for the commander. So what does the commander get upon achieving a victory in a combat?
Well, he gets a parade.
Yeah, no, but not mechanically in this game. He doesn't.
Influence and popularity of half the strength of the war.
Yeah.
So he gets influence and popularity rounded up or down according to the strength of the war. Is that correct? Which way?
Half the strength of the war. I don't know whether it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's an even number, so it doesn't matter.
Actually,
but it should.
4, so yeah.
Yeah, it's an even number. It doesn't matter. But if it's an odd number, is it rounded up or down?
Down.
Are you making that up?
Rounds up.
Yes, they round up.
It's rounded up. Okay, so now what we're going to see is Julius here is going to gain 2 popularity. So I'll put this on this card now, and he's also going to gain 2 influence to reach 11.
Ooh.
So we'll take the 9 down. We'll give him a 1, and I need to create some more 1s. So I'm going to go copy and then paste. There we go, and I'll paste another 1 down the bottom in case somebody else needs a 1 later as well. Okay, good. All right, so he's received his perks there now. What else happens for the Republic itself upon a victory?
Does morale go up?
What's that term that we're looking for? It's not called morale?
The
Unrest.
people get happier.
Okay, it's unrest level, and what happens to the unrest level?
Well, the unrest level should drop a bit.
How much?
1.
And what rule dictates that in the rulebook?
Oh, Christ.
I don't know, but it's on the top right. It's just below the state unrest level on the board.
Well, there you go. So right, and it says there it's only -1 as per a victory. So I guess the Quaestor can do this as well. You can drop the unrest level from 4 to 3, which is a great outcome.
Does that mean things don't cost us twice as much now?
No, it means the people of the Republic are less likely to kill you.
Well, that's a good thing.
A victory.
Correct. We're nearly there. There's a couple of administrative things we need to do, and then we'll be able to move on to the revolution phase, and that'll nearly be the end of our session tonight. Nearly there. You're doing well, folks. Very impressed. Okay, so we've updated the unrest level. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to check for commander death or capture. And 1 death chit is drawn for each unit lost. And we lost a total of 6 units. So there's going to be 6 death chits drawn. And if one of those death chit numbers matches the number of Julius, which is 4, that senator dies. If the last death chit drawn is in fact a matching number, he is instead captured, and then we have to instate the captured rules. But let's see what happens. Hopefully we don't roll the number, but we're going to have the commander himself, aka Cornelius Dolabella, do these death chit draws. So what we need you to do, Cornelius Dolabella, is head to the far right hand side and go to the collection menu next to the settings. Do that for me first.
Hang on. Oh. I tried to scroll out a bit and then I lost things.
Well, you don't need to look anywhere right now. You just need to go to your right hand menu on the far right hand side.
Yeah.
And now up the top next to the cog, you actually need to click on, I think one of those ones. It's called My Collections or Collection.
Just the 3 lines.
Yes.
Oh, the 3 lines, right? Macros.
Great. Now scroll right down the bottom. You'll see a section called Rollable Tables.
Yeah.
You'll then see one called Mortality Chit, and you'll see a roll button. Go ahead and hit that for me.
Yeah, roll a 4.
Okay, first number's a 5. That's safe. Okay, roll number 2. Roll that again.
Ooh, it's tense.
None. Good. Roll that again.
28.
28. None. Roll that again. 23, that's number 4. Roll that again for number 5. It's another, that's 23, 25. So that's 5, so we've got 1 more to go, is that correct? So roll 1 more time.
No, don't you unlock the number of legions lost?
It's the number of units lost.
And boats.
Yeah, number of units.
Yep, so it's for a total of 6. And he's rolled again, and perfect. So no number drawn for Julius. So Julius survives despite the heavy losses. Ooh. So that's a good outcome, I think, for Cornelius Dolabella and his faction, that Julius survives. Yeah. So well done. As there are no other wars that the Senate chose to fight this match, that will conclude the combat phase. We just double checked for any unprosecuted wars, but there isn't any at this time, so there's nothing to deal with there. Now we move on to the revolution phase. Okay. Now at this point of time, we're going to start with the highest ranking available officer, and you have the opportunity to play, trade, or if you need to, discard cards. And I don't think anybody's at a point where they need to discard. You can have 5 or less in your hand at the end of the revolution phase, but there's no threat of anyone having to discard, so that's not a problem. And so let's go to the highest ranking available officer now, and who is the current Rome consul?
It's me, I believe.
Yes, it is indeed. So would you like to play any cards at this point?
No, I'm alright for now, I think.
Okay, I guess there's an opportunity to trade cards as well. Obviously, that requires some discussion. So while we're rotating around the field, by all means, if you want to whisper to somebody else, or even have an open and frank discussion, talking about your cards, and I'm probably referring to, well, it could be anything you could trade if you happen to want to make political deals with somebody.
Sorry, quick question.
Yes.
Is this the only time you can play the cards?
Correct.
You can play them at the start.
Obviously in cards that I'm talking about playing, it is either open bodyguards, if you've got them, and it'll say open bodyguard, concessions, or statesmen that you're legally allowed to play. Okay? I think the only cards that you can play right now. Yeah. Anything else, such as a assassin card or an intrigue card or a tribune card, you'll keep to yourself in your hand. But if you want to use it as a bargaining tool to trade with someone, then you can by all means talk about it. So just double checking with the highest ranking available officer. Anything you wish to do at this point?
No, I'm all good, thank you.
Okay. Now I think
question.
Yes.
At the very beginning of the turn, we had the phase where we could play cards.
Yes.
Well, that phase happens again next turn, yeah?
No. So that was, I guess, a set-up game play. Cool. The standard time where you play cards is now. Cool. Okay, right. So this is your only opportunity, I guess, to play statesmen or concessions or anything like that you may happen to have in your hand. Okay. So let's rotate round to the Optimates, and Cornelius Calum, would you like to do anything at this point?
I would like to play a card.
Okay, by all means, let's throw that down and flip her over, and let's take a peek.
So, I've got Fabius Maximus Verrucosus Concator.
Where have you put that card down? I can't see it.
He put it in my one.
Yeah, whoops.
Okay.
Thank you for the gift.
So I just want to double check. Nobody else has Senator ID number 2?
Nope.
Does Julius go back to his faction?
Not yet. We'll get there. Don't worry. Good question, though. No, that appears to be legal. Okay, that's an acceptable play. So you now have Fabius Maximus now in your faction party. So go ahead and update your total faction votes, as you've gained an additional 2. And his special ability is quite fascinating in that he halves all losses rounded up in combat. Unless, of course, he is appointed the Master of Horse, which we know occurs when what happens, ladies and gents? When do you appoint a Master of Horse?
When there's a dictator?
Bingo! Very good.
There you go.
Good. So you've played a card. Is there anything else that you want to play at this point in time?
I'm good. Thank you.
You're good. All right. Let's scroll round back to the Reapers party and that of Cornelius Dolabella. Is there anything you'd like to play, trade at this point in time?
I'm just thinking. Not at this time, thank you.
Not a problem. Okay, moving on to the Tarquinius faction under Indominus. Anything you'd like to do at this point?
No, I don't think I've got anything that I can do at the moment.
Okay, and we'll move on to Sempronius. Now, one thing I want to point out before we move forwards, who has the shipbuilding concession right now? Speak up.
That's me, I believe.
Yeah, so, and how many fleets did you happen to raise in that last Senate session?
We raised 2.
Yeah, so what do you need to do?
I guess collect 6 talents.
Yeah.
And do I become corrupt now and move it across?
No, that's come and gone. So okay. you escaped there. So how would you like your denomination?
Is it just 1s and 5s?
1s, 5s, 10s, 50s, and 100s. But noting you're only getting 6.
Yeah, I'm only getting 6. Just a 1 and a 5 is fine, thank you.
Certainly, I'll bring that to your section. One moment. You are the middle one there, right? Okay. I'm just going to zoom out a little. So pop that on that senator's card who has that concession. Let's go back to Sempronius. Would you like to play anything at this time?
So that card, that tax card that's there.
Yes.
Now I only collect if I pull that out. Is that correct?
No, if it's on field, you are collecting. So did you not do that this round? I'm happy to reimburse you now if you didn't.
No, I did. That's fine.
Okay.
Now does that stay there, or does that get back into the deck, or what's happens with that?
So that card will stay there. That concession will stay assigned until you decide to. I think you can move it, and that is at this point in time. If you want to change that concession to another senator, you can do that at this time.
And if I want to put another card out,
yes,
another concessions card,
yes,
can I add it to that senator?
Absolutely. A senator can have an unlimited number of concessions. Very good. He's put down the Land Commission. Let's have a look at that one. So a Land Commission gives you 3 extra talents per turn. Can't be destroyed, which is good. So extra income there. I'm going to help you out there and make that go to the back so it slips in behind. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay. And that brings us back to the Hand of God. Okay, so now the question on everyone's lips, and this is a formal step, but generally should be a fairly obvious and nonchalant step, but sometimes it's not, is the declaration phase. So what this is a point in time where those who are eligible to do so can declare themselves in rebellion. And as a super big hint, I am definitely not expecting anybody to be rebelling at this point in time. They're essentially defeating themselves. But we have to be formal in how we approach this. And subsequently, the only person who is eligible to make any such declaration is the current victorious commander, which is Julius. Therefore, we defer to Cornelius Dolabella. Are you handing back your legions to the control of the Senate?
Am I handing them back to the Senate?
Yes. Are you returning peacefully and handing your legions back to the control of the Senate?
Oh, what's the alternative? I try and take over.
Correct.
I don't think so. I don't think so with just 2 legions.
You sack the Senate and kill everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think I'll come back peacefully. I'll be a good boy.
Yeah, I think that's the best outcome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to return both those active forces back to the active forces box. I'm going to pick up Julius and all his Kpha and put him back in his play section. The other thing we need to do now is put a Legion Allegiance marker on Julius's card, which will be the number 3 Legion Allegiance marker. So now the 3rd Legion is now quite loyal to Julius. Okay.
Is that the one that got promoted?
Correct. That is the one that got promoted to veteran status. Yes. So a tip for you is to read up on disbanding and veteran legions, essentially, which is in the advanced rules section. Okay, and seeing what your options are in terms of wheeling and dealing with them. Okay. And then, now that we've done the declaration, we do the end of turn, checking for victory, which we clearly know has not occurred, and Rome continues to survive. You have money in your treasury, there are no 4 or more active wars, people haven't tried to kill you yet, and no one is yet in a position to declare victory. So, ladies and gents, you have completed your first year and first session of the Republic of Rome board game. So give yourselves a great round of applause. I'm very impressed with you all. Well done. Okay, well done. And for those that are watching on the stream at home, and if you've been watching for a long time now, kudos to you for hanging around for so long as well. So at this point in time, ladies and gents, stay connected on the Facebook page and the WhatsApp, but you are otherwise dismissed from this point. I'm going to have a chat with those still on stream, but thank you for your patience and your participation, and we'll see you all in a week's time for Assembly number 2. Well done, folks. Catch us later, okay?
Perfect.
Everyone.
Everything, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Have a good one.
Excellent. Lovely,
Yes,
lovely.
indeed.
And for those on stream, I'm going to transition back now, so hang around. And we are back. Hopefully you can still hear me if you're still watching on from home. Wow, what an epic first session that was. I was quite impressed. A quiet Senate, perhaps most in agreement. Some choosing to abstain on some of those proposals there. Certainly fascinating to watch, and the initial relationships formed between the various factions. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching along at home as well. It is quite a complex game, as no doubt you would have noticed. You would have seen in that virtual tabletop the rulebook laid out there on the right hand side. You can of course access that rulebook yourself online if you look up the Republic of Rome board game rule set. A great resource is boardgamegeeks.com. They have a lot of helpful guides, useful material, as well as the rules themselves, and you can start to analyse some of the potential strategy that our players and our respective factions may be taking as we advance through. We've seen a couple of senators now start to gain some serious influence fairly quickly. Fulvius from the Optimates faction there is already at 14 influence. Has become quite a prominent senator in the Senate already, and I'd be very cautious if I was another opposing faction and watching the power of that Senate moving forwards. And then, of course, another interesting player to keep an eye on going forwards into the Second Assembly is, of course, Julius from the Reapers Party faction, who now has a loyal legion and 11 influence as the current field consul. Other interesting points to note is obviously they had to deal with that manpower shortage in this particular round, which doubled the cost of their units. But thankfully they didn't have a great war that they had to deal with. It was a fairly minimal strength war in the Second Illyrian War. However, future wars may cause a problem. Thankfully, that manpower shortage will disappear at the start of the next forum phase, but thankfully and hopefully they may not get any more. At this point in time, we'll now probably conclude the stream here. Thank you again if you have been watching along from home. Drop a follow if you haven't already, and we'll be playing this game again, continuing on next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on next Monday, or that's 11:30 a.m. Rome time for those Romans amongst us. But yeah, that will conclude the stream for now, and I guess until next time, as they say in Latin, valete.